his game last night, so.
Oh, okay. Good.
That's all right. Alrighty. I made up a banner for Mountains and Highlands for next week to play it safe.
Okay.
And if we change it, we change it, right?
Sure. Yeah.
We got it good.
But we talked about it, so now, and I kind of like it. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's something for me. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I was saying, if we got some kind of monster guest or something, you know, that would be.
Oh
the
yeah,
one.
then of course that we.
Yeah, that's all I meant.
Mike Merles pops in. That's.
Shh. That's a secret still.
What?
Whoops, I popped off there.
I didn't know about that.
Oh, were you joking?
Yes, I was joking.
Oh. Yeah, I sent you that. Well, that's a Gavin anyway.
Yeah.
I think he's able to come on Sundays. Because we'd be all over the place on that. It would be a lot of Greyhawk content. Yeah. So.
I brought you more too.
That would be awesome. We've gotten one no so far, and that was Rob Kuntz.
Okay, we got a no from him.
Yes. Alan got him contacted, and he said he was too busy.
Well, at least he's responded.
Yeah, that's a good thing, right?
Yep.
So hope everyone's good tonight. We're starting to get cranked up here.
The page of the day here.
Back to the regular streaming.
Yeah.
After 10 streams in 4 days.
Yeah, if everyone was hungover and missed this episode, I would not be.
I think they're eager to have some fun again.
Yeah.
They need to come in and tell us what we missed and what we should do and stuff like that.
I'm good, Caesar. I haven't gotten your books, your 1E books out yet. The big you and John's 2Es. I will get them out. I promise. Just got a big box them up, and I haven't yet. So just please note that. I got everything else out. What's up, Tim? Enoch. Got all the small stuff out. Hey, Derek. Working on it. So. We got a lot of cool content coming up too. Really cool stuff. So, yeah, man. What's up, Tim Naz?
And now you need to do a joust next year too.
Well, I'm not going to comment. I look at it this way. GaryCon 2021 is done. There's a lot more going on before I got to worry about 22. So we'll worry about GreyhawkCon, worry about other cons, we'll worry about other content, other fundraisers. And when the time comes, we'll make the proper, informed, professional decision. Right? Isn't that's
you
fair
make
enough?
This sound like very much a more of a kind of well-planned endeavor than it is.
Well, it's more of a calculation, isn't it? And also, you know, I've put together a list of con pros and con cons. So, and I've had 2 big streamers in our cabal discuss it with me, and I agree with their feedback. So, yes. So we will. Let's be positive. What's up? What's up, Patrick? Oh, let's all be positive. No drawing yet, Notorious. I haven't started it yet. You and Casey are 1-2 in that. We're gonna do at least one Troller game, $25 gift certificate tonight. We get a decent hype train. I'll do a second one. So, but yeah, I know you're waiting. You're always waiting. You're always waiting. You always win. So. It's still early. I know. Maybe a little con hangover. I am part. Yeah, I have to be. I have to be part of a cabal. So special stream tonight. So if you don't know, Infinite Dimensions is tomorrow night's giveaway, and we're giving away the Ruined Rookery STL and the stables that Bill built that STL as well. What's up, Longshot? So we're getting away some good stuff. Those STLs, and they're both on the table for tomorrow night. So, and that's the arena. Can't wait to get this. This should be out soon. The minute this comes out in STL, Bill's going to stop everything he's doing and start printing that, because we want to use it right away in Greyhawk. So, they're close to getting it. What's up, Shane? So someone, Crimson Death, thought you were the DM Shane, and I had to direct them that you were not. So, just note that. So. So, I get to hit
Not
this.
that that's a bad thing.
It's not, but it's just we don't want to confuse identities, right? We don't want to do that to
just
anyone. Tell the wrong identity. But just note that it wasn't the same person. No, I did not, and I have no idea, Thunder, and that's all I'm going to say. So how's that for an answer? You can read into that however you so choose.
Yeah,
But you'll see something shortly. I'm gonna spend 2 minutes of the announcement here.
I'm interested in the post-mortem battle damage report.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I'm behaving myself because I was someone who keeps me straight and narrow, says don't do anything stupid, and I'm not. So, yep. So tonight's a celebration, a true celebration of a great accomplishment. Let's concentrate there. And
is alcohol optional?
Oh no, it's mandatory for you.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. You need to. Yep.
So, gotta work.
Derek, I talked to Carlos this morning, and I got some ideas, and I think I saw Carlos and Amanda are on, so I got to get with them and move. Oh, thanks for it. I got to move forward on the next JS2, hopefully, and get that out to everyone, and get some new classes that like the Saxon and stuff that are completely homebrewed. So get that stuff out. Journey to 1,000th blog post. How to use some cool maps there, Mike. I love the maps.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, they're fantastic.
oh, thanks, Enoch. Thank you. That was very kind of you. Very, very kind of you.
My mapping is eclectic.
Eclectic, yes.
I think that's the right word for it.
It is.
Yep.
Hey, Megan.
Yeah, but that what makes them so cool.
Eclectic's a good word. Very, very good word for this. So, and note everyone that well, let me just come on here. It's 8 o'clock. So, as we still got people coming on, but I'm going to say this right away, and then everyone can. Good evening, everyone. JK Lord Gazumba. Post Gary Con hangover is done, I think, for me. And with me, I have my partner in crime, Anna B. Meyer, and then
Hello.
the great, and tonight, who we're celebrating tonight, Greyhawk Mike Bridges,
Woo!
1,000th blog coming up any day. I mean, that's an accomplishment, man. 1,000.
Well,
Yes.
I'll come back to that. I thought the number's not an accomplishment, but maybe the time put in is.
Well, yeah, and it is. It is absolutely. So,
Yes.
but before that, before all the celebrations, I have to say something regarding Gary Kahn, because I don't want to be. I want to practice what I preach. A lot of people understand what that means. So, I want to thank the following people for a wonderful Gary Kahn, because I didn't get a chance at the end of our stream, because we didn't have an after stream after Eric Mona and all them. So I want to thank all the DMs that didn't stream, that played in. And I'm not going to name any of the DMs, because if I name 2 and I forget 5, that's not cool. So I want to thank all the DMs. I want to thank all the people who played and signed up. I want to thank all the show participants who played in a game. I want to thank Greyhawk Reborn for participating with us. That was really cool. I want to thank all the tech team, like Josh Pop, Balfrin, Grape Ape, Dwarf, all of them, for keeping things running. I want to thank Casey Rift and Jimmy Duffy for coordinating things over 4 channels. And I want to thank Luke and Dave Conant and Skip Williams for running the con. And then especially, I want to thank the following streamers, who, without them, we wouldn't have a Gary Con Greyhawk channel, and kicked some butt over the last 4 days, if you all noticed. All right. So here's who I want to thank. First off, I want to thank Wiley Hobbit, who had to reschedule his game and had to do it on his own channel and kind of got lost in the shuffle. All right. So I want to thank Wiley Hobbit. I want to thank Art of Mike Disney. I want to thank Kayla, Time Lord's wife. I want to thank Chris Solo, Fable 42. I want to thank Ethan Armin, doing it in the middle of the night, and he had a player issue the first night, and the first time he ever was in a con, that had to have been rough on him. So thanks. I want to thank Stella Luna, who filled in almost last second for Wiley's spot and did a great job. I want to thank Troller Games for working with Guy Gaga. It was unbelievable on the channel. If you had watched that was a fantastic discussion. I want to thank Carlos Licing, CSL Entertainment, his wife Amanda, for the 9, a great game. I want to thank Anna for her great, wonderful seminar we had. I want to thank Frank and Ann from Nighthawk Gaming, who got lost in the shuffle as well, because they got stuck on Blighted Lands, and I tried to push as many people as I could over there. All right. So for their game on Saturday, I want to thank Prayers Rejects. Jeff Searcy, King Bashman ran that game in the middle of the night, Saturday night. Okay. I want to thank Will, Wicked Studios LLC, for a really bizarre, cool game. A perfect that was where they were turned into cats. That was really crazy. So yes, that's all Greyhawkery running tonight, Jason. All of it. It's all Greyhawkery stuff. I want to thank John at Blue Box, who ran 4 streams. Okay, he did 4. So that was, yeah, he did a great job. And then all the people in my little group, Tim and Bill and Tom and Walt, who showed up and played in my game. And some of them got kicked out, got booted out of the joust first pass, which was really kind of comical. So, all right, enough of that. So, thank you. Now, let's celebrate 1,000 blogs. All right, sound good, everyone?
Yep.
So
let me get my copy of Doom Grinder. I'll cut it up, throw it up.
Don't do that.
No.
Someone wants that. Someone will want that.
Someone out there will like it.
Yeah. So so you started the end of 2010. Is my guess? Is that when you started? Because with this, how did you start?
It was at the end of 2010.
How did things?
How?
Yeah. How? Why? How? Yes.
Why?
Yes. Why and
how? Okay. Well, I was doing my weekly Greyhawk comic strip for a long time, And when I used to just like post it, and then I started posting like a little comment on the comic strip, and then I started posting commentary on the content of the strip, and then just like grew and grew and grew. Next thing I know, I'm thinking, well, I'm blogging practically. Like the text was meatier than the comic, right?
Yes.
Comic was just something to draw you into my writing. So then I started looking into blogging, and at the time I'm thinking, well, shoot, Joe Block's the only one doing Greyhawk content on blogs. There's a lot of blogs. Some that are still around too. Others that went away and came back. But
was Jason active at that point, Savota, or no?
I really can't remember.
Okay.
If he was one of those.
Okay, but Joe Block was the only one at that point, is what you're saying. Yeah.
The only one that I followed.
Okay.
Yeah. And so I just moved my comic over to the blog, basically. And that gave me an excuse to just write when I didn't feel like drawing, which was, I was winding down on the art aspect of it. And then I would just start posting like my game journals and stuff like that, what's going on in my campaign. And then I would throw my content for my games on there and then comment on news, just kind of snowballs from there. Thanks, Jim.
Very cool. So let me pop some things up here. I saw.
No, Doc, I did not do anything for Dragon before it was shut down. I did pitch a comic strip to Eric Mona once and did not get accepted.
According to you, this is your blog debut. Gods in Space.
Yeah, like I said, I was doing comic strips at the time, and that was one of my best comics storylines at the time.
Okay. Very cool.
Gods in Space.
That is that a, I can't say it, but is that a joke on the end of History of the World Part 1 where they say something else in space?
No, well.
Oh, you know what I'm talking about.
To me,
I can't
I know
it.
You're talking about. No, what I'm talking about is my favorite childhood memory, Pigs in Space. From the
show. Okay.
Yeah, that's what it's based on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
But before you started the blog, you did a lot of posting on Cannon Fire and stuff. So you've been at it, but you haven't done your own blogging until 2010.
Well, okay, that's another part of it. Is Gary on right now?
Yes, Gary is on. Gary is on.
Gary is on. That's right. That's right.
Yes.
So Gary, I did a lot of post fest and I was posting old stuff. And what happens is you would submit something to Cannon Fire and then you had to wait for one of the editors to find your thing. And then, if there was a lot of back then there was a lot of writers. So there might be a queue for when your stuff's going to come out. I was impatient. I'm like, I can't wait to see myself on the front page of Cannon Fire. So I just started posting my own stuff on the blog, basically.
So at this point, is Cannon Fire IRC chat? What is it? Is it AOL Talk at 2010?
It's a website from earlier.
Yeah, right. But how are they communicating, Gary? Are you doing any talk at this point in 2010? Like, I was just curious.
IRC,
I think, was back then.
Yeah, it was all on IRC.
I think it was IRC back then, if I remember correctly.
Because it was still IRC when I started streaming in 2018.
Yeah.
Because Brian Blumklotz was going on there.
Yeah,
it was IRC up until Discord. So then it was, there was the email list, and then the Cannon Fire forum took over in 2000.
I was like, how dare they do it on Thursday night when it's my only stream night? Back in the day.
Okay, real quick segue here. I just posted a link to my 1000th post, which I just
there you go
right now.
Awesome. Let me see.
It's a lot to read, so follow along with me. Read if you want, but the TLDR version of that post, too long didn't read, is that I got to 1000. That's my milestone, and now the blog's on hiatus.
Everyone note that it's on hiatus. It's on.
So
Mike's taking a sabbatical.
Last blog post ever. Or I could blog next week. I don't know.
Yes.
But, just so you know, I'm still doing stuff for Cannon Fire, for Worth Journal, for Legends and Lore, and all the usual stuff.
And more, and other stuff.
Slowing down.
Yes. So Mike is expanding out into other things.
But check out that post. There's a lot of shout outs. I give as many people as I can. I think 30. I mentioned 30 people, content creators. So I'm directing people out to the community.
Cool.
Thanks, Carlos.
You end it with that awesome picture that is the backside of the box set, but you standing
I put myself
behind the map
in the world of Greyhawk.
that picture is fantastic. Yeah.
It's very cool. Very, very cool. So
old music.
That edit. Yeah.
And don't take turn this into a celebration. Mike told us Sunday night that he was going to go on hiatus after 1,000, and that's it.
Yeah.
Things change and people go in different directions, and there's nothing wrong with that.
I get real moody sometimes about art or writing, and I almost quit that blog a few times. But this time I actually had a milestone in mind, which I think is perfect.
Absolutely. So let's go over some of the highlights of the 10, or I guess it's almost 10 full or 10 and a half.
I think it's 10 and a half.
10 and a half years. So you're almost doing 100 posts a year, almost 2 a week for the entire time.
Yeah.
And I can see where that could be a tedious.
Well, that's why I was saying, it's the time put in. I know there's a lot of blogs like Tinker's Tavern or whatever, who might post daily or more than once a day. And might have thousands, 10 times the amount of posts I have. So the post count itself is probably not impressive in the blogging universe, but 10 and a half years is pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
You got some great content to your blog, so you're not putting up a 2-line blog about the day, the weather outside like some of them. It's all content created, and really thoughtful stuff. I mean, look, we just pulled off 5 Reasons to Visit as a whole show from a blog idea in 2015 a couple weeks ago, So, but what we want to do is, if you remember some that you liked and highlight, and then Mike has given me a whole bunch, they're scrolling through. So, there may be some other ones that are, that are highlighted that others can.
You were joking about doing a random post discussion.
Yes.
To figure out how to do it.
Oh.
Yeah.
You roll. If you don't use 2021 and you don't use 2010, which are kind of short,
right?
So if you just use the full years, you can roll a D10 and then a D12 for the month.
All right. Yep. I may crash the stream. Okay, I'm going to attempt this. I'm going to attempt something that is probably not smart, but here we go. Give me 1 second.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going.
Yeah. While you do that,
Sorry,
Jay,
guys.
I must say that what I'm really impressed with, Mike, is the sheer breadth of different types of topics, art, discussions on everything and anything. But when it comes to Greyhawk, and I think I'm very super focused on what I do for Greyhawk, but you're the opposite. You go all over the whole spectrum, which is really, really impressive.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
It was easy at first because I have all these ideas and opinions on my mind.
If I crash, stay there.
Throwing them out, I keep going all these different directions.
Yeah.
But now I'm running out of those ideas. Unfortunately,
it worked.
It worked.
Okay. Yeah.
It worked.
So it
worked. It's alive. Okay.
Perfect. Yep.
Okay. So, Mike, you got dice? I don't have any dice on me. All right, someone give me a 10. Give me 10-sided die roll and a month. Someone just say year 1 through 10 and month whatever.
Number 2.
All right, 10. Go for it.
First one in chat.
First one in chat.
Yep.
Year 9
on the D10.
And 6. All right,
9 in month 6.
All right,
6 in
9
February.
All right, so 6 in February. We'll do that one second. We're going to do 9 and 7. All right, 9 and 7, and then
okay. Yep.
All right, so here we go. Let's see what happens. 2019 and the month July.
So there are 6 posts that month.
Here we go. Some Gen Con 2019 stuff. Oh my God, my name's right there. And so is Carlos. Also, 2 of my favorite people, Jay Lurkazumba Scott and Carlos Lacing, are DMing. Wait, an Epper 9-hour game on Thursday, Gen Con, titled Horror in the Holes. Oh my gosh! Look at that. Even though this event is also sold out, maybe we're checking out anyway since it'll be most of the day and evening. Here's a blurb for the adventure. That is unfreaking believable, Mike. The
there
first,
you go. Right off the
wow.
bat. Boom.
Is that crazy or what?
So, yeah, one of the things in between me posting a silly comic or some big expose on the Sea Princes is I like to promote other people's stuff going on in the community.
And you make a lot of reuse, and you write about when you've been to conventions and stuff that are really cool. You make convention reports.
I had represented Cannon Fire as a member of the press.
Oh,
on
that's
more than
true.
a few
Yeah, you got a
occasions.
press badge at the conventions. Yep.
All I had to do was post what I did.
Yep. Well, then you have to report. Otherwise, it would not be.
Yeah.
So there we go. So now I need to do this. I need to move this down so I don't
Gary.
crash anything. So let's continue with this month here. This is a great idea. So Mysterious Places from the Fringe 4.
Ooh, I love that's one of my favorite series.
Yeah.
Places from the Fringe.
So we're talking Shog versus Void. The Hateful Wars was a culmination of a century worth of yours and Jebberly raids from the Lord Mill Mountains into the Good Hills, realms of Saleem Julix, right in my. Oh, look, a mention of the Low Road right there, which is being worked on by David Leonard and Rich Longitalis as we speak.
The Low Road.
The Low Road has is being worked. I mean, seriously, the maps and everything and the storyline is being worked on by them as we speak. It's also tied into one of my locations on my Greyhawk map, and I'm going to discuss. And I'm going to discuss it tomorrow night in my adventure too. Wow,
man, that's 2 for 2.
That's 2 for 2. Unbelievable. Greyhawk collecting.
Man.
So here's so this is so you're looking at stuff that you own or don't own.
Probably. Shoot, what year was that again?
9. So
2019.
2019.
Oh, we're selling 2019. Yeah.
Yep. July 2019. So yeah.
Yep.
So these are all things that I need. Yeah, I still do not have Against the Cult of the Reptile God.
Really?
Yeah, I do not own The Night Below. I only have one of the 3 Falcon series in physical.
Okay.
Yeah, I need all that stuff still.
You don't have Night Below?
No. I hear it's hard to find.
It's the last one I just got, and it was not cheap. That's a tough one. Getting a complete one with a good box set. The box sets are the toughest of all.
And you see, I don't like get online and try to just purchase it. I want to find it at a convention. I want someone to trade with me or something. I want to have a way to acquire it rather than just throw money.
Oh, sure. I understand that 100%. You really want.
That's why I'll never find the Cthulhu D's and Demigods. I keep expecting to stumble upon a copy.
Yeah. So very cool there. So we go down. Earth Journal 29 was released. Look at this list of people on here. Rox is in here. Rox Farias. Michael Gross-Zudrak's on here. Tom Van de Veen is here. Everyone knows him. Wow, look at that. Malden's in here. Brian Blumklotz. Lee Murphy, Will, Tony Milani, and myself on that one. So very cool. You guys picked a good month to start.
There's so many authors in Earth Journal that I can't even begin to keep track of all the people I've collaborated with, directly or indirectly.
So, Will, I know Mike appreciates that 100%. Man, I know you got a stream tonight, so.
Yeah.
Yep.
Gave Will some mad props in my 1000th post.
Here's Tribality, new Greyhawk articles.
Yeah.
So was this a prelude to the Earth Journal? Probably.
So Blake Ryan, I think he kind of maybe stopped posting, but he was posting Greyhawk articles on Tribality. It's a website. A gaming website.
Yep.
And he was posting Greyhawk stuff on there, and it was like, okay, this is different. So anytime he did that, I was trying to help out Blake, and I think he was in our chats as well.
I was just going to say, he wasn't on the show.
Yeah, I think he's from Australia.
We had him on the show.
Is he Batman Blake?
Yep.
Yeah. So I don't know if I've seen him in a while. It might be because of
Okay.
time
Yeah, it might be
difference.
in a while. Yeah.
Interesting. All right, so Greyhawk, let's fight in a roll.
Yeah.
Cool. Yep.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. So
I think it's rather right. Yeah.
Yeah. I always love reading those old AD&D stats on the deities, and how they were statted out. With it seemed like the specific intent that you would fight player characters with them, and so then the reality, when you're actually analyzing, it's like, oh man, that'd be so ridiculous to fight in arrow.
and of course, after all this, Jay forgot setting up a giveaway real quick. I have it set up. I got to hit a button.
What are we giving away?
A Troller Games $25 gift certificate.
All right.
All right, sound good. Sound good. At least we have something there. Pretty good from there we go. That should set that up. So all you Caseyites can handle. Now I can do it. There we go. So there you go. It should be going up. It should be good now. All right. So that ends. And it's got some stuff that ends. And now we go to 6th of February. And then I saw January. We're going to go right to January 1st for 2011. So let's go up here, and I guess I got to go back, right? Not here. I can go here. 6.
So we're doing
February
of 2016.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. 5 shall be 1. Shadows and Light. So today's the 4th installment of a new 5e Hold the Sea Princess reboot of the 2e modules. 5 shall be 1. Howl from the North, set in the South Seas. So are you running this? DMing it?
I am DMing that. So 5 shall be 1. That is my Sea Prince's revision of the 5 shall be 1 story.
Oh, cool.
You taken it and adapted it to the Sea Princess.
Yeah, I completely adapted it because if you know the modules, it's about a set of swords, right? And I think it's implied at the end that if you use the swords, they vanish and will be dispersed again. So I just reasoned that, okay, the barbarian story ended, the swords vanished and end up in the South Seas.
And there's Soul ties down there too. So
lots of Soul down there.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a good idea. So then we got, as we scroll down here, Dream Singer. There we go.
Yeah, Dream Singer, that's a good one because my friend Brandy's bard, she has that sword, and we're
nice.
Currently in talks right now to bring that campaign back.
In 2e or in 5e?
In 5e.
Okay.
And she wants to play her
Party.
high-level bard that was in that campaign.
Very cool.
Well, okay, I gotta come up with some reason.
Cool. I mean, that's a great idea. Chris Perkins, AMA.
Chris Perkins, yeah. So Chris Perkins was heavily on my radar for a long time especially during the 4th edition era. I tried to track him down at Gen Con, never could. I followed all his articles that he would put out, and then he got more and more popular, and then he was writing Greyhawk stuff. And so, like this AMA, I'm on the lookout for anything Greyhawk related coming out of his mouth, because Chris Perkins is the head story writer for Wizards for D&D, and I always thought, okay, this is we're going to get Greyhawk. It's going to be because of Chris Perkins, but no, never happened, not yet. Probably won't. He's busy doing other things.
And it just happened,
Bobcat. Chris is Canadian. I did not know that. Casey says he's dead.
What?
Between we had Chris Perkins and Mike Merles at the hippie top of D&D for a long time. Both of them Greyhawk fans. I'm thinking, if we don't get Greyhawk, between those two, then my hopes start to go down. I don't know.
It's So let's just say this: we may find out a little bit more
No
soon.
Greyhawk.
All right, that's all I'm going to say there, everyone. We may find out more soon from someone about that discussion. So
I agree with Zombie Knight. I'm sure everyone has seen the that meme of the Forgotten Realms map, and it says Forgotten Realms, and Sorkos is the Remembered Realms.
yeah.
Yeah, makes me laugh every time.
So here's more 5 shall be 1 treasures and tracking. So who's playing
So
this?
these are my So yeah, these are my campaign journals. So Cullen is my friend Brandon. Sabriel is Brandy's bard.
Okay.
Tyrus is my friend Jason King, who has been at many conventions with me.
Right.
Kuma Sand, one of my favorite character names, is my friend Dan. And Ostin is my friend Ed, whose house we currently play at. So, did I miss someone? Oh, and Last Driftwood is my friend Sean. He was playing a Sea Elf before it was a playable 5th edition race. We just used a regular elf and gave him water breathing.
Oh, well, that's cool.
Yeah.
Kind of like that idea.
But we kind of needed it because I was running this, high seas game, and there was going to be a lot of undersea component to it.
Right.
So I needed that aquatic character in there.
All right. Castle Greyhawk Epilogue to Adventure. Boy did Eric Mona slam WG7 on Sunday night over over and over.
Oh yes, he did. And puppets.
So
I Castle Greyhawk. I was doing the graphic novel with Scott Casper, and I was posting my week, every installment on the blog to promote that. Interestingly, between my comic strip and the Castle Greyhawk comics, the comic strips that I posted were always my lowest read posts.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
People wanted game material. They wanted news articles, but comics, no, not so much. I'd say it's about half as much readership.
But on the other hand, your comics are so awesomely tied into the setting that it requires a lot of background understanding to really get them, so to speak. And some of them are easier, but some of them are really like you need to understand what the gods and the heroes and all that.
But at least, like with Brian Blumklotz, or now I notice David Leonard's been doing this. They're reposting my old comics on Facebook groups and whatnot. And I'm thinking, all right, new audience, these people don't know it's old content. It's new to them.
So I like here where it says, I'm dying to attend GaryCon someday. GaryCon 7 is going on at this point in 2006. So, and that happened. How many GaryCons you go to?
Let's see. I think I went to 11. GaryCon 11 and 12? Or 10 and 11. I can't remember.
It would be 10 and 11 because I didn't go 11 because I had that. Yeah, and 12 was virtual, and so was 13.
Yeah. I only went to 2. 10 and 11.
2 more than me. How many about you, Anna?
I've been to 3, I think. Yeah.
Okay. So, and then you have some Greyhawk stuff here where you're talking about 3D Tomb of Horrors. I don't know about this. First is really cool. 3D Tomb of Horrors with just plunking it down under DM. Don't know any about that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, there's just some weird stuff you find Googling around the internet.
Yeah.
And some Grodog Castle Greyhawk, which we know about that.
Yeah.
So, which is very cool. Here's one of our 5 reasons to visit that we ripped off. Yeah. So a couple weeks ago. So 5 reasons to visit, and we went through a lot of locations. I don't think we did Niron that night.
Yeah, no, I think someone in chat said 5 reasons to visit.
Yeah. Absolutely. And here's where you begin. 5 shall be 1. The quest begins. You got the whole group together, which is cool. Yep. There are no mages in that party.
No.
Wow.
No, there is not.
The bard has some spells, but that's it.
Yeah. Well, part of it is They're a ship crew, and
Yeah.
I'm real leery about mages on a ship crew. I don't think that should be a standard
Right.
thing.
Right. Okay.
You know, I think the druid is the main spellcaster for the group.
Okay. It's a cool one. Alrighty.
But my favorite thing about that post there, the quest begins, is at the very bottom.
Okay.
I posted a picture of the letter I gave everyone.
Ooh.
And I actually did a wax seal stamp on it.
What's
and I got that wax.
What's it
I
say?
got that wax seal at Gen Con.
That looks awesome.
Wow. Yeah, I can't even read it on my computer. Yeah.
It says something.
It says something.
But it looks fantastic.
Nice.
Yeah, I used to do a lot of props like that, not so much anymore. But I think that same, unless it's a spell jamming shit. I used to, but I think that same campaign is one where I took like this, empty potion bottles, and I would fill them with a mysterious colored liquid. And if they wanted to use the potions they acquired, they had to drink the real bottle. So it's like, oh, red liquid, white liquid, green liquid.
Oh.
You know, and they weren't labeled. Or maybe they were. I can't remember.
So we using food coloring? Water and food coloring?
No, I went to a grocery store and looked for
drinks that were that color.
Various drinks that were that color.
Oh, okay.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I think I had prune juice and some kind of, kale, something nasty green stuff. Yeah, it had to have been the worst stuff.
Yuck.
Coconut milk. Yeah.
That's
Awesome.
cool.
I highly recommend that to your friends.
Yeah, and LSD. Tell me about it. So, this was in your scroller you put in Virtuosos of Villainies. We go back to the beginning, January 2011, first month. So, look at that. Thanks, thank you, Derek. Thanks, Mike.
1,000 for 1,000.
1,000,
well
and I'll transfer that to some hero points for upcoming. Yeah. So this Eli Tomerast shows up a lot. So let's discuss Eli.
Yeah, he was hot on my mind when I started the blog because it's my favorite villain.
So and he's a Mordecai is fantastic. So it's a shame that once again Rob Kuntz is mentioned here. And also Mark Castle, right? Dungeon Master 112 and his Mega Adventure Mark Castle. We're trying to get everything you wanted about Mark Castle, like we did with Isle of Dread together for future legends and lore. So this is pretty well connected. So, yep.
Here's a link to my 999th post where I put the very best of Greyhawkery on there.
Oh.
And Virtuosos is at the top of the list.
Okay. So, you go into detail on this guy a lot. Eli on the home campaign. What did he do bad in your campaign?
Well, we played Mordenkainen's Fantastic Adventure, which in and of itself was a short module, like they all were back in the day. But just something about that villain got under my friend's skin so much that when they killed him, they said, well, we're not going to let they wanted to get some kind of payback or whatever, so they took Eli Tomerast's body back to Greyhawk City and they had him stuffed, taxidermy, and they put him in their bar. Now think about that.
Whoa.
Yes.
They displayed a human. I think that's illegal.
You would think so.
I think that's illegal.
Yeah. Fantasy world?
No. The display of public carcasses in Greyhawk is expressly illegal.
Crime, exactly.
It is.
Well, it didn't last very long.
Well be, but
yeah, that's what he's talking about. Mike says that they did in Greyhawk. And
if you bribe someone well enough,
oh my gosh.
Get away with it.
So
thanks, Derek.
Dungeon 112 then came out. The sequel to
Right.
Mordenkainen's.
Yeah.
And the hook to it, if anyone's read it, is Eli Tomerast is like resurrected or cloned or whatever from a piece of his body.
So
I'm
now
thinking,
you know where they got it.
Well, now you know where they got it. Yeah.
That's awesome.
One of his followers went in that bar, took a piece of him, and brought him back.
Took hair. All you need is some hair.
Yeah. So Eli Tomerast is back, and he's even badder than ever, and there's
Crazy.
more levels.
That's awesome. Yeah.
That's crazy, man. You're crazy,
Why it's
man.
illegal. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
So then Eli Tomerast had his, vendetta against the player characters, and I think that whole storyline went even beyond Mark Castle. Like I think I ended up having him mess with him in a couple other modules as well.
So he's like your what Casey has is Omni, the one that just shows up and is always a thorn in their side for a while, which I kind of like. I have them all the time. Just those characters you just can't get rid of. They're like some kind of bad rash. So.
Gaetano's right. That can't be real. That guy has some demon hands.
Very, very cool.
The only villain I used that was more that I used more than Eli was Igwilv, of course.
Okay.
And hers is a name that still will incite arguments in my game group. That they hate her that bad.
Well, that's good to know. Because, Igwilv is always around, right? She's always coming back.
Yeah, she's hard to get rid of.
So this one is old. I mean, you're talking Grendel Wolf over at Axe and Hammer, and I'm wondering, is that Gaetano Grendel Wolf, or is this Gaetano way back in the day? Has posted a must-see project that should impress any hardcore Greyhawk fan. He's undertaken the creation of a 3-tier dragon chess game. I'm curious if so there is a dragon chess board game out there. It has nothing to do with Gaiax's version. So chess is a language you can learn in my game and have a rating and all, and you can play other people. It's kind of a gentle ladies game and that too. And so thanks Patrick. Wow. Okay, that's an interesting one. Very early on, Greyhawk City weather forecast. So
yeah. It was a cold winter that January, and it brought to my mind the Greyhawk weather generator.
Cool.
Yeah.
So Gaetano says that was him back in 2010.
Hey,
wow.
Awesome.
Hype.
That is amazing. Look at the connections we're making tonight for old history. I would have.
Wow. Hey,
wow.
That weather generator app thing, I have linked on this article.
Oh, okay.
And it still works.
Let's scroll down.
Oh, yeah. It's still up.
Oh, here come the snow elves, too, and the Uldra. I hated the Uldra. Oh.
Yeah.
I hated them. They're Uldra were the lawn gnomes. I mean, they were more lawn gnomes than gnomes were. Yeah.
I mentioned Cruel Summer Lord at the
Cannon Fire. Yeah.
There, he has so many articles on Cannon Fire.
That was really cool, though, that we found a Gaetano link going back 10 years.
Yeah. Hype.
Well before I knew him, 8 years ago. So 8 years after. So here we go. Review Channel Divinity Vecna.
Oh yeah, now that was a really good article. All those deity articles that were in Dragon Magazine, I think they were called Core Beliefs, but this one I think was different. This one, I mean, it's the same type of article, but I think this one was involved with. Now I'm trying to figure out if it was Sam Weiss or not. I know there was. Well, at any rate,
awesome.
Those were the good old days.
Yeah, and so you got a lot of quotations in here. So is this before or after the comic was done? I don't know when that comic was done.
I might have still been doing the comic into 2011. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean that Vecna comic book that's so valuable. That's what I mean. When was that done?
Good question.
Yeah, I don't. You have it, don't you? Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Oh, it's third edition, so it was done before.
It's got
the third edition logo on it too, so that's good.
Does it?
Yeah. So I guess 2005, 6?
2002.
2, okay.
Yeah.
Thanks, Patrick. All right, so let's scroll through here. Big changes to Wizards 2011 schedule. So
whatever that's about.
The same announcement brings a blow to 4E Hawk. Apparently, they decided to cancel the upcoming Magic Item Accessory Mordenkainen's Magnificent Emporium, which I never even heard of. So, but this is the book I lampooned harshly back when it was unveiled at Gen Con 2010. So I guess it was a dog, a flop, right? The 4th edition. And you just panned the whole thing?
You know, that's weird.
News to me.
They did put that out.
Did they? Anyone have it out there?
Magnificent Emporium.
I think they did.
I don't know.
Well, like I said, during the 4E era, I was latching on to any kernel of information that came out on them. And even to this day, they still just use Mordenkainen as a...
Yeah, right.
Someone to throw on the cover.
Greyhawk Comic 302 Grey Lore. Delib is here to unload some more Greyhawk in your brain this week's installment.
I do not own any 4E products.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't. I misspoke. Alan bought me back in the day a box set. He said, "Oh, this looks cool. Madness at Gardmore Abbey. It had music in it or something. Had music to play when you were to make people insane or whatever, and there was a DVD in it or CD in it." Yeah, I'll have to show everyone. It's down in the basement. I think it's the only 4th edition thing I have. I never really even looked at it. So, yeah. This is where you're retiring to.
Yeah, little Greyhawk.
So, got you in
your world.
Yeah.
See, it says, "Enter the world of Greyhawk." That's what I did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So there you go on that one. And animals and Greyhawk religion. Interesting. Another cool one.
That's one of them rando articles that I do. But if you think about it, and this is mostly Lynn's doing, I imagine.
A lot of it is Lynn's.
A lot of it, maybe 50% of it.
Yeah.
You know, so many animals associated with deities.
Yeah.
And it really makes me wonder if other Forgotten Realm gods or whatever have those kind of pets and things.
Len was ahead of his time. Because you got the base Greyhawk deities that were, you think of like Tritherian and Palor, and some of them are on here, but a lot of these are Len deities, right? Lurg, Jaskar, the Cerebral, Zerbo, Osprey, they're all Len deities. Very cool. All right, so it is out. Dwayne Costa says he has it. It is a 160-page hardcover book.
I thought so. So they must have made an announcement, and then I reacted, and then it came out eventually.
All right, so now you're going to talk about Elephant Hunt, which is in Dragon Magazine by Tom Wham.
Yeah. Oh, Elephant Hunt.
You got a Middle-earth picture there from Lord of the Rings movie. It was a cool game. I mean, it had all those games, like Awful Green Things from Outer Space.
That.
Yeah.
Elephant Hunt was what issue did I say? 88. Yep. 88 is the first Dragon magazine I ever got, I believe. I never came into it in the heyday of Greyhawk. I didn't collect backwards. But those games.
There's a lot of them in there. I think they put out a compilation of all of them in a box set too, which is very rare if I recall. Am I remembering that right, everyone? What's up, Rob? I think I'm remembering that right. So New Year's Greyhawk resolutions. All right, so here we go.
No, real quick.
Sure.
One last thing on Elephant Hunt.
Yeah.
I don't know how or why. Maybe it's the catchy title. Maybe people are Googling Lord of the Rings stuff and saw Oliphant. But that is my 6th highest read post of all time.
Really? This?
Yeah, that thing.
Because maybe Lord of the Rings fans are searching Oliphant and it comes up?
It's got it.
That might be. Yeah.
Wow. Hey, who cares?
Who cares? It's all about keywords, right?
Absolutely.
Yep.
That's pretty cool. So here are your first year New Year's Greyhawk resolutions. Maintain 2 to 3 posts a week. Write,
Ugh.
write more
Oh,
articles. Promote Greyhawk,
Check.
the comic,
Check.
Greyhawk fiction.
Yeah. Well. Okay. I didn't do so much.
You got
fiction, I guess.
pretty far there for Jan.
I ended up doing Scott Casper's fiction in illustrated form.
Yeah. I agree, Scotch Jeff. Pre-86 was the heyday for Dragon Magazine. The early ones, like I said, I think the Archer article one, the Dragon 60, it's got the midgets and it's got the all those joke things. It's
I think
awesome.
Puppet Dad's right. Those Sewell articles were in the first Dragons I ever bought, and I really believe that was instrumental in hooking me into a subscription.
Yeah, but I like that the late 90s, early 2000s when Eric Mona had the helm. But Paizo, the Dragons they came out there had lots
The
of
dungeons
Greyhawk.
the dungeons
Yeah,
had
and the for Greyhawk content, they are gold. There's so many awesome stuff and in there. So I must give Eric a good
Oh my
shout
God,
out for
and they
putting
did
so much Greyhawk stuff in there, and there's so much lore articles tied to the adventure paths and a bunch of other stuff, and they revisited a number of gods and stuff in those issues too. I haven't gotten to them in my reread yet, but I have them soon.
the Dungeon Magazine articles of Hardby, I still use to this day, combined with the Earth Journal Hardby, and I've meshed them together. When they talked about the Knights of the Holy Shielding, the Prestige class. I back converted that night into its own first edition class, Holy Shielding, Ulick, and Hart, and they got their own classes. And I mean, it was a great time in that era.
Yeah, I mean the low point now when when the TSR is about to lose all their money and being bought up. I'm in the year, what is it, like 96, 97 now, and there's hardly any Greyhawk content whatsoever. There are a couple of ecology.
Yeah, they had a lot of they had that airy science fiction section, right?
Yeah, exactly. There was lots of science fiction and still a lot of computer games and stuff. They still have mini golf simulators being reviewed and stuff like that. So there's some those are kind of the low points in some ways. But TSR was struggling those years. But so from a Greyhawk perspective, there were low points. But they really tried to. And Dark Sun, there were some interesting articles about Dark Sun and stuff. But now I'm going on a tangent. So sorry.
So
Mike, back to you.
I'm gonna
I want to mention real quick on that maintain 2 to 3 posts a week on Greyhawkery. That's exactly what I did.
Yeah.
If you do 2 to 3 posts a week for 10 and a half years, you'll have 1,000 posts.
Yeah.
And then what's funny is that, see, I put here that it's deciding on a topic can be challenging. Not as challenging, however, is making a punchline for a comic each week. Ain't that the truth? Comics is hard, making jokes. So.
And if you run 22 to 23 adventures a year, you'll get to 900 something in 41 years.
Yeah. Yep.
I know, Mike. It's just crazy, right? It's insane. So I'm going to look. I've never clicked on 2012. You see, it's light blue. So I'm going to click on 2012, and we're going to pick March of 2012. How's that sound?
2012.
I randomly picked one. Tribute to a rare talent. To Spotrick, Shivers, Maria, and Burley's have been author of such a special. So
I had a lot of posts that month.
Yeah. The blog Old Man Manifesto. I've never heard of it. Does it work?
Oh well, I bet it doesn't. It is.
The blog has been removed.
Yeah.
So one of the things I have to do is go back and find all my dead links. Unfortunately, that's one of them.
Okay.
Yeah. But you have a great post, the Greyhawk cartographic renaissance. Awesome.
In case you've been under a rock, yeah, me at this time still. Joseph Block over at Greyhawk Ruins has been on a huge role in the cartography area. Very cool.
He did some awesome Darlene-style maps of the whole planet. That was really cool.
Yeah.
And Anna,
really cool.
read this. Another reminder, check out Anna Meyer's Facebook group, the Flyers Geographical Society.
That's been around
Had 210 members then.
Exactly. We are like 1,500 now or something like that, 1,600. Yeah. I have to give it, 210 back then. So let's see how many there are now.
Height.
Yep. That was interesting to see what we have today.
Oh, I forgot I put that there.
Really cool. Sea Princess number 27, Marooned. Here comes your campaign.
Yeah.
Yep.
2,500 members.
So
Way
this
more than
is
I
my.
thought.
This is before my
10
Five
times.
Shall Be One.
Okay, this is
campaign.
before it. So what level
This is
are
my. This is probably a low level group. So my original Sea Princess campaign was old school 3d6 down the line
they? Wow.
on stats. So the captain there, Victor Emmett, he had like a 6 constitution. He was real sickly, and Araxo had like a really low con, not because it was charisma, not because it was a dumb stat, just because he rolled low. And then my friend Jason played an Omen, which was really cool, and Brother Pickles was a 3. He rolled a 3 intelligence cleric. We made him play that.
How do you? How? That's
Oh.
like, oh my gosh. And, well, he looks like he died and Henry Morgan died in this.
That was MIA.
Oh.
I think there was a battle, they got lost in the battle, and the party got split. Half of them were marooned, hence the title, Marooned, and the other half were looking for him.
I don't have 3 intelligence.
Yeah.
That's like a tuna fish sandwich playing.
Oh man.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, Mike.
Yeah. Good times.
Awesome. Dark Darrows and Doom Grinders. Yes. Oh yes.
So I went there. Yeah.
The Darrow's involvement in 1998 module Doom Grinder then targeted Tangent Officer Steve Miller, who I learned.
I'm glad you picked this one.
Yeah, it was just
Jay,
random.
because the middle part of it, that map is Nathan Irving's. I think.
Oh, okay, great.
This is it's on Cannon Fire, I believe. It's a proposed map of the Underdarks, which is very important right now because Gary's running a post fest on the Underdark right now. So if you take a look at that map, it could maybe give you an idea.
Yeah. I want to add one. I would like to add the Rift Dark around the Great Rift Canyon because I think it's kind of natural to have one there, so to speak. But otherwise I'd really love it. And I hope that while the Hobbit, because he sent me a question asking about Vesvi and the Underdark, and this one is super cool because it has Night Dark or Near Dark and stuff, Witch Dark and stuff up there. So it's kind of that. This is a cool one. So I hope that he can see this. Otherwise, I have to send him the link.
We have controversy here. Are you ready for this paragraph?
Okay.
The Darrow's involvement in the 1998 module, The Doom Grinder, then tangented to author Steve Miller, who I learned anecdotally blamed the Greyhawk community, then new to this thing called the internet, for his being fired from TSR over his adventure. I did not know that.
Hey.
Wow. That is safe.
Thank God someone's head did roll for that adventure.
Well.
So yeah. So you see, you're not the only one who don't like Doom Grinder, apparently.
Oh my God. So.
I'm trying to remember.
Where did you?
I may have met him at Gen Con.
Yeah.
That might have been. Surely I didn't. He didn't.
So.
In person.
And then you go, fair warning for any future Greyhawk authors at Wizards. Yes. So there you go. That is, and here for more Under Earth, check out Dennis Tetro's maps here. Let's see if this works.
Sorry,
it does. So Dennis Tetro's Underdark Maps connection link works.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's good.
Dennis has really propped me up. I used to have my comic strip on a really janky website, and I was doing my website with like HTML. I typed all the HTML out by hand.
Yeah.
Back in the day, and it was just so rife with bugs and things, viruses. So Malden was one of the first, and Greyhawk Online. Greyhawk Online and Melcott were happy to host my comics after that.
Castle Greyhawk comic, Finding Your Rag. Nice. So this
Page
is
4.
yep. Tensor and Alyssa are out beating the streets of Greyhawk City, looking for an adventure named Rag to lead them to fame and fortune, and then who knows what else. Very cool.
Yeah, that's early on in the story too.
Yeah. So, Sea Princess 26, Narisban.
Narisban. So again, another campaign journal thing, but the important thing is Narisban for me is a neutral port. I don't know what it is in canon or what other people have done with it, but
Okay.
in my campaign, it is a neutral ground for any pirate groups: Sea Princess, Crimson Fleet, Scarlet Brotherhood, Palmars. It's neutral, which narratively is a good thing to have.
Oh, absolutely. It's always good to have. Where is it on the map? Is it near Flotsam and Jetsam Isle?
No, that's in the Ulman Isles.
Ulman Isles. Got it. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Very cool. Got some good stories here. Encabulous strikes. I like that.
Yeah, anytime I was sick, which is very rare, I would throw that kind of post up.
Charity Doomgrinder. Every character has to have a 3 and 1 ability score. I can't. I couldn't. I don't care how much money we were to raise. I can't do it. I can't run that. Now, Eric Mona had an idea on Sunday night to do like puppets or child's play for a fundraiser. Maybe that. I cannot do Doomgrinder.
That would be
I can't.
Funny.
It is so bad.
I ran Doomgrinder, everybody. It was painful. And I had to just pretty much hand wave the rest of it and have that thing crash off into the lake.
The Doomgrinder should be
Yeah.
So you remember during the Greyhawk Con last year, I had the Doomgrinder spinning because of the tongue, right? And that was it. And I said, solved, problem solved. And that's it. An ancient flan artifact that predated migrations. And it turns when I agree 100%, Gary. Problem solved. To take that, oh gosh, I shouldn't start. To take that from the Ashes box set, which was a great story, and turn it into a cigar spinning Darrow ship that can only go straight.
Which just happens to be in line with the city of Greyhawk.
Yes. Everything's in line. Haven't you watched?
Why couldn't it have been pointed towards the Great Kingdom?
Haven't you watched an Oak Island? Everything's in line. Yeah. All right, Greyhawk affiliations, the Prince's Fleet.
So yeah, that was a fun one to do. It tied into my campaign. Back in 3.5, they were doing those affiliation things where you do certain tasks and it gives you points in the organization, which then gives you perks. So that was fun to write.
I'm just telling Lomas Lightfoot, he's like, I may get it on PDF to see how bad it is. I said, use eye drops and alcohol. There you go. That's what I would recommend. So you've done a lot on this and expanded on this in future writings, and even the Earth Journal going on all the fleets, right?
Yeah.
And so
constantly revising it, tweaking it. Yeah.
There's Big Mac. Good to see you, Mac.
Hey, Mac. Thanks,
David.
Thanks.
I'm always looking for shout outs, and I don't know where the hell I put them half the time. There. Okay. So
Piazza.
All right.
Ooh,
Wolfgang Bauer in a Ring of 5 Questions.
Right. So I was doing the Ring of 5. Originally, I was trying to get some industry names on there, some published authors to interview. Just trying to do something different on the blog, and I would throw out these emails, and sometimes I get replies, sometimes not. I burnt out pretty quickly on that because I think I ended up having like Scott Casper and Anna.
Oh yeah, I remember doing one. That was awesome.
But I was not having any luck getting Eric Mona's or stuff like that to answer my emails.
I can understand. I'm bad at answering all the email and stuff I get. So and they probably get 10 times or 20 times more than I do. So yeah.
But you could go. Oh, I was going to say, if you ever go back now, you could. Really,
if I want to try
connections
again.
now
right.
down the road.
But in hindsight, I think it was much more gratifying to open it up to the community and let them all answer.
Surely.
got some fun stuff out of it. You know, instead of doing
Yeah.
custom questions, you know,
Right.
everyone just answered the same questions.
So here's a quite good. You did a couple intriguing adventures set in land with black ice. What do you think is under all that dice? Wolfgang, demons in a spaceship, a Lich King from beyond the stars, or one of the elder elementals? I don't know for sure. Now I think that's a mystery and a tease. There you go. Knowing would sort of kill it for me. Meanwhile, in the world of the Sea Princes, number 25.
Yeah. So
Hey, you got some
another
detail here.
campaign report. Yeah, I used to type. See, I used to work midnights at a hotel
So
as a night auditor.
I'm going to shamelessly plug something and say that maybe you should do that for this. And that is, he did it, why can't you? La 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 la.
Yeah.
Seriously, you could do a synopsis of our Sea Princess campaign because you have enough here. So
Yeah. True.
I'm just putting it out there. I bet you a lot of people would buy it. So
Interesting. Anyhow, what I was going to say is I used to write these campaign journals when we would game, and then we would quit, and then I would go to work, and then I would write those immediately after I ran it while it was still fresh on my mind.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if I could do that. Well, that quality.
Sure. Understood.
Low.
But, maybe. You got, you could piecemeal all the regular stuff together. I know for me it would be very tough to do a synopsis because we bounce around so much, but it seems like you guys are pretty good. Same group of characters going here. D&D Next is around at this time. 5e logos.
Yeah, that's what it was called during development. D&D Next.
Yeah. So
that turned into be the biggest success of the game so far.
Yep. So then we go Greyhawk Castle blog. Enter Alyssa.
Yeah.
So
wow.
Yeah.
So that was very early in the deal. Yeah.
Well, what's really cool is it looks like the Rock and the Elephant C14 is what you're using, and there you go. Our maps that
I love
I
the
use.
City of Greyhawk.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of that comic was set in the city, not in the dungeon, believe it or not. So anytime Scott was like, "Oh, they're in this tavern," or "They're out in the street by this location," I was actually looking at these posters and drawing my comic from those maps.
Very cool. Yep. Awesome. So then we go down here and we got Sea Princess 24 swashbuckling action. Gotta love that.
Yes, that's what. Yeah. That's what you want. Oh no, this is actually a good one. So the long and short of it is that particular week, because we're on a pirate ship, right? You have your player characters, but there's a whole rest of the crew, right? So one day I show up with these pre-generated characters, and I said, "Today, you're playing the B-listers," and
nice.
So they randomly played other characters from the crew with their clever little nicknames and whatever, and the guys had so much fun doing this little one-off thing. Yep.
Awesome.
So, and then I made little sketches of their characters.
And that's cool. And so did any of these guys die? Guys or gals die?
I can't, not in that session, I don't think.
Cool.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Nice. And you did all the artwork?
Did all the artwork.
Woolric Shank Grubby Hill. That is awesome. Wodrick.
Yeah. And some of those characters were so, they had so much fun playing them that they got attached to them and played them again later.
Awesome.
So, yeah, anytime you do a nautical adventure, I always come up with a full roster of names just for that, occasion. And it's great because, if you have a player who's out for a week, you just say, "Oh, well, their character stays on the ship. No muss, no fuss." And then everyone else goes on with the adventure.
Looks like you're linking Anna's old maps here. Listen to Flatness here. 2012.
So
I bet you these downloads don't work.
No, they're probably, yeah, but I can say something. I'm putting together all the old ones into a PDF compilation
cool.
so you can download them all.
Okay.
Yep, it's underway.
That
It's
was
coming
your
very, very
first
soon.
run through the furnace, right?
Yeah, that's when I
Yeah.
finished them. Yep.
Yeah.
Or yeah, I think I don't think at 2012 I probably didn't have the whole map done yet, but I think that was 2016 or something like that. I think I did 2016 or 17. I did the whole thing. Yeah, 16. No, 13. Sorry. Yeah, I think it was 13. So it was close. Yeah, very close. I forgot which year, but it was, yeah, it was.
So I'm putting it out there for general questions for Mike before we go to another. We go to another year here. So what questions does the audience have for Mike in these 1,000 blogs? So while he's doing that, I'm going to put this up here. Here's his top all-time posts. Boxers of briefs. I don't know if you want to answer that one. Mike, what Greyhawk product that was never made did you want the most, not counting Castle Greyhawk?
What Greyhawk product that was never made did you want the most, not counting? I think we probably discussed this before in group, but I wanted what Fate of Istis was probably supposed to be, and that was a city guide. Like a source book of cities.
Right, and it turned out to be some kind of bizarre adventure path.
Yeah, I think you could have got more than one product out of it. You could have done cities of the east, cities of the west, cities of the north. I don't know.
Awesome. But, you know, that's one of those that I'm surprised you didn't say a guide to the Sea Princes compilation, like an official one. Would they ever do that? I guess.
Well, you know, interestingly, back in the day, they it seemed like they gave the Sea Princes over to the UK crowd because that's where all their stuff was set.
That's true.
So if they had done more, I imagine they would have developed it.
Rock says, how much percentage of Greyhawk have you not blogged about? Like, is there any?
Oh my gosh, Rock. Let's see, between 1 and 10%. I really do think I've hit everything.
Yep. At
one time or another.
Yeah, you've been so all over the place that you've done so many awesome stuff about it.
It's so hard to find something new to blog about.
So,
what inspired me to write a blog about Greyhawk? Joe Block had a blog, and the fact that I just had a lot of stuff to put out there, and the blog was the best way of doing it, the fastest way.
Nice. So we look on this, and 5th edition D&D Greyhawk Deities is by far your largest post, and what?
Yeah, and I think
should be that.
It's got to be the internet,
right? The search engines.
You know, there's more gamers in 5th edition, more search engines, more people are playing online, so they find my article about 5e deities. It's all about the wording of your article.
Right.
Most of my blog posts will have some reference to the word Greyhawk or something Greyhawk related in it.
Right.
You know, I don't assume that people know, you know, if I put on there Noribo and Ouijas, you know, unless you're a hardcore fan, you're not going to know who they are. So I have to put something in the title more general to grab you.
It's like that on Twitch too. You got to be able to grab people in with the title and stuff. So I know about that. You really need to. Which one? I have never I've never clicked on 2014. So let's pick a month we haven't done. Have we done September yet in any of them? I don't think we have. September 2014. Split the party. Castle Greyhawk. Awesome. Don't split the party.
Split the party.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a saying. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I always kept those posts short. You know, it's a link to the comic.
Yep. What are you going to say, Anna?
I was going to say that's the general saying, don't split the party. But in Tim's game, I turned that upside down and said that we deliberately split up the party at least a little bit. And
Yeah.
Tim was reluctant to admit it, but I think that was more beneficial than not. It depends on what the enemy, but if they use magic or whatever, stay separated enough so you don't be caught in the same, have to do the same save, all of you, the whole party. So to keep, just because split the party, don't go a mile from each other, but don't stay really tight either at times. It depends on the rules and stuff. And I try to, so in my games, it might be more beneficial because flanking and stuff is tougher, but it depends a little bit. A lot of spellcasters and stuff, you might want to spread out a little bit. So it's, yeah.
So here's Grazit's conversion for 5th edition.
Yeah, disperse. That's the word, Tim. Yep, that's the word. Thank you. Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, I spotted that on this. I'm glad you popped on this one. So someone did a 5e stats on, or maybe it was an official book. I can't remember. Grazit.
It was in the Dungeon magazine. They did a 5e. They did an article on Grazit for 5e. Yep.
Oh man, the link still works.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that post was the first time I ever got noticed by Ian World.
Okay.
Morris actually posted my comic that I did on
Very cool.
Grazit Show and got 78,000
I've never been covered
views.
officially on Ian World in the forums, but not officially on the Ian blog. So
Yeah,
you
I
see,
don't
you're
get
way
Ian
ahead of
World.
me there.
I got nominated and said I wasn't eligible.
Well, I've been nominated to the Ian for the Ennies several times.
Like,
yeah.
Unless one of us goes out of our way and reports it to Ian World, like they had nothing about our stuff on Greyhawk Con or Gary Con.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
That's okay.
It's not news to them.
Yeah, it's not, and that's fine. Sometimes it's good to, hey.
Yeah.
Can't be everywhere. Zombies of Greyhawk. Wow.
Yeah.
So you got
that
drowned
was a
ones
fun
in
one.
here.
Yeah. Greyhawk has so much undead.
Great undead too.
Yeah, and cool of a lot of special ones that aren't.
Yeah, I love.
The Ravenous in Hetmarium are so cool.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I love Juju zombies as
And
well.
then I have my own
Dry ones
zombie variation.
from all.
Yeah.
They look, they're all dry. Ew. Because they've been wilted by Abby Delson, which is perfect.
So Doc asks, what's in store for Mike after the blog? Well, I'm still going to do a lot of writing. 4th Journal, Post Fest for Cannon Fire, whatever. But stuff like the dry ones there, that's the kind of stuff maybe I can revisit. Maybe I can actually start running stuff and all. Who knows?
Yeah.
That would be great, man.
Yeah. I just laughed at Gary's comment. You can't throw a camp rat out without hitting a lich. That's awesome.
That's true. That's true.
Death Knight's Duck. Yeah.
Yep.
Electrum in 5th edition.
That's one of my esoteric.
Yeah, they
articles.
got rid of the Electrum. That's so sad. It's a Greyhawk coin that they got rid of, and
the exchange rate keeps changing.
Yeah, exactly. And then Pathfinder 2 had a big deflation because they actually elevated the silver piece to the standard instead of the gold piece. So it's a silver piece standard instead of a gold piece, which I think makes sense because you want as many upwards coins as downwards, so to speak. Yeah.
Yeah. So
that's true, Big Mac.
Now the coin set, the coin sets I've been giving out, they have Electrum in them.
Yeah.
So you
they're
got
good. They're good. They're
Electrum.
Yeah, Greyhawk.
Oh, absolutely. Stratagem Greyhawk approved.
I can't say I use Electrum a whole lot in my campaigns. Just kind of.
I use even brass bits and iron traps and stuff in my campaign for food items and cheap things like that. My characters are dirt poor, so not anymore. They even have a few gold pieces now. So yeah. So they're not dirt poor anymore.
Are they using teeth for currency?
That's fine.
Well, not that bad. Now they even have gold, so now they're flush. Oh, they're richest in the village.
They were using teeth? Are you serious? Wait,
no.
They
didn't have to.
Bitcoin and Electrum.
Yeah, They have to use their fingernails, though. So yeah.
Oh.
But now they actually the richest in the village. So yeah.
It's a gloomy, slow Saturday morning. So you went to nostalgia on that one.
Yeah.
Why the Gem of the Flannis?
Exactly. That's an interesting article. Please indulge us.
Why the Gem of the Flannis? Well, I can't remember why. What was the point of that article?
To kind of
Wow.
explain, yeah, it's a long, interesting.
I was musing over how the setting would be if you centered it on other cities.
Oh,
The world of
okay.
Iron Gate, the world of
Yeah.
Gradsoul.
Yeah.
Why was Greyhawk picked?
Yeah, I think Iron
Yeah.
Gate will be an
Okay.
excellent place. It's kind of almost in the middle too.
Electrum Teeth. That's funny. Rocks.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a good discussion on you know, the why on it, a hotbed of adventure and the trade routes, but you also got here's some other you know, what else?
Centrally located.
Yeah, you got Iron Gate, Gradsoul, Relmord, and Lapola. Wow, Lapola in here too, and Ket, Verbabank. Yep. So that's cool.
I think they're all viable places to set.
Oh yeah.
I think the one I didn't put on there that should be is Relastra.
Okay. Yeah, Relastra. Yeah, and the forgotten one, Rel Devon, my favorite.
Yeah, I mean at that point, I mean you could really pick any city.
Oh yeah,
in the Great Kingdom.
I'm just kidding. Yeah. But there's a lot of and Stoink and bunch of them. Yeah.
I guess that could be a good.
That's
the
an interesting
world of bandits or whatever.
Yeah. And Radagast City is another one that is on the verge of the Bandit Kingdom. That is kind of cool. And it's also a port city and a big one. So yeah.
Could mirror Greyhawk.
Yeah.
Oops. So let's do 2020 and let's do.
So now we're coming very recent.
April.
Okay.
We'll do April 2020. Greyhawk news and leaks.
Fresh.
Goodman Games is redoing Temple of Elemental Evil. We've heard about that.
Yeah.
And they already did Expedition to Barrier Peaks and Keep on the Borderlands. And then you're talking about Jason Zavoda. And putting out posts, and then hopefully Jason's okay.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah.
Oh, look at that! We're hosting Zeef that coming up.
Yeah.
So
that was a good one.
That was a really good discussion on from them about how Zeef is going. Let's pick through the Greyhawk Ruins.
Yep.
Wow. Ruins was only $15 back then. Wow. So the thing about Ruins was I couldn't figure out what the plot was because there wasn't any really, right?
Yeah, for me it was just
dungeon exploration.
Dungeon exploration.
Yeah.
If there was a plot, it had something to do with maybe the war tower. It had a couple of factions fighting down below. Like there were some humanoids trying to get up from the Underdark, and there was like a couple cults that fought, and I think Vaprak was summoned and like wrecked a bunch of stuff.
Yeah. True.
Stop Ice's army. There you go. That's pretty much it. Which is what Eric's later book is about.
So here we talk about in this article also that Liam was never in the Circle of Eight, but if it's celebrated group, why would Liam be missed? Is adamant. So this is when he was on Legends and Lore and he hopped in. So we got a Len discussion in here, which is great. So just talking about that, and then there's the War Wagon. I remember that. Just hanging out there outside the one.
Well, it's haunted.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
But my favorite part is the purple table. I don't know if anyone else, characters and your players got the purple table. The purple table is probably one of the coolest Greyhawk magic items that you probably never heard of.
I never heard of it.
Yeah, well, it's right there.
You don't really. It doesn't come up in Expedition to Ruins of Greyhawk, I don't think at all. So a large table made of purple marble laced with gold souls first into the area. So I don't remember what it does. The table sees all population figures. Wow.
It is a holographic thing.
It's my map inside the setting.
it pops up the world, and it
Yep.
has all these runes and things, and
Yeah,
like,
it's my mapping in so
Yeah.
if you go there, you see my
Yeah.
map in there. So
Yeah.
yeah. Mhm.
That's awesome. With
Yep.
with all the
That's the purple table. I didn't
yeah.
never heard of it. Awesome. Yep.
right,
I'm wondering. I have to
the
see where that
purple
was
table.
placed. Pretty cool.
Yep.
Very, very cool.
I think I've heard someone said that there is a version of a cool map of the world in there, but I didn't know it was called the purple table.
Yep.
But that's awesome. Yeah.
Greyhawk Ruins.
All right, so you got the tower and some other Aka Thunk Sentient Warhammer.
Yeah. Is
Measly
that one the
Ego
guy that lost
6.
his hands up in the north in the temple somewhere? Was that Zunk or
Zagig's apprentices.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Harlan.
Oh, and the Greyhawk Wars. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a lot of cool stuff in that adventure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you go through Greyhawk Ruins with a fine-tooth comb, you can definitely find some crazy cool stuff in there.
Yeah. No, not in this case. Not back then.
No, it's Zunk. They're up in the cold marshes and the barren lands up north. There are a couple of dungeons that have hands of people, Zunks and Zunk. Yeah.
So this was, yeah.
So there's some poor guy's hands have ended up there in various locations. So yeah.
This is cool. I remember Mike goes through all the wars, all the catastrophe that he put through people in that 2E game years ago.
Yeah.
And there
so there's no links. There's no links on there yet. But every time I did one of those wars, then I would put links on them.
And there was a boatload of them.
Yeah.
Having judged up material for 8 more wars, wow, I have additional 2E campaign material I may write up to coincide with these events. Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot. And here's your Furyandi Ayu's War Map Part 3.
Okay, I did link those. Yeah.
Yep.
That's pretty detailed. Look at that.
It's fantastic.
All the handwriting.
Yeah. See, I used to read a lot of World War II textbooks and Napoleonic Wars and different wars, and I just would study the maps.
Yeah.
And that's how maps were done in those books.
Yep.
They're almost done like the old war games that you had back in the day, where it was all, you had a map, but it was almost all text-driven stuff, like the SSI games that you ran on the Apple or the Commodore back in the day. So it's got that feel to it as well.
Old mine.
Yeah, and you got the Vespi. You got a lot of. You still have these, I'm assuming.
The maps?
Yeah.
Yes.
This says Soul Husk destroyed.
Here's my 2E file. It's pretty packed.
Let's note some of these details. Eagles Trap, Ayus versus Philidor. Soul Husk destroyed. So where's the green X on this? Oh, I see it. Wow, up there. So they went up and destroyed a Soul Husk.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this campaign was,
oh my gosh, look at this.
This was the Furyandi Ayu's War was the culmination of my 2E campaign. After that war, it was pretty close to over after that.
Yeah.
Because there was no one left alive. Kidding.
Well, I think what followed is what I mentioned at the end of this article. The hiring, which I did an article on.
Okay.
After Ayus was destroyed, the mages took over the Flamis. And then the Land of Black Ice melted. And then there was a colonization effort.
Melted?
Yeah, I can't remember how. I think I reasoned that the Black Ice was a curse.
Spewing out too much of something and
when
you have
the curse
global
was
warming.
lifted, the ice went away.
Yes, and they
So
turned
then
it.
people,
You turned it into Waterworld. Greyhawk
and then they
Waterworld.
colonized it.
Okay. Wow.
So here is, I like this, December week 4. Highfolk
Black
burned.
slush.
Highfield pillaged by General Blood. Ayu's gains. Losses
Ooh.
800 dead, 800 40 giant versus 800 human, 1,200 demi-humans.
Yeah.
Oh my
Good
gosh.
times. Yeah. Good times.
What would happen to Panzershek after he was captured? I don't recall. I guess he was interrogated and executed. Wow. Hey, that's what's great when you can just go to town, man.
Yep.
Here's another Furyandi Ayu's war map.
Yeah, get all of them.
Ooh, cool. It's very detailed.
Yeah, it's
Look at it.
fantastic.
I mean, look at this. Look at the detail in this war.
Yeah.
It's just crazy.
Mind you, my other wars, I did not go in as much detail,
Right.
but I still kept pretty good maps.
How many
on
people are
everything.
playing in this?
Probably only a few.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think this was the one that we used war machine rolls on from
Well, you have to.
companion set.
I mean, in this massacre at Crying Spear Keep, the demonic assassins sent by Zemlin kill everyone. It's almost like a red wedding thing. By night, a orc warbrand holds the keep. Losses 40 fiends, 400 infantry, 200 heavy cavalry, and 8 spellcasters are slaughtered. Oh my gosh. That is awesome. Commentary. Wow, this campaign is bleak.
Yeah.
That is great. Oh, that is kind of, now here's part 1 where we started.
Wally.
Let me just check this out. Did that link? Okay, I went to the Battle of Emerald Meadows. Look at that, Gary. Kind of ethereal's linking up there from the. Wow.
Yep.
Here's the battle. Is this your Battle of Emerald Meadows? Dongle posted all. It just connected back there. All right, let me go back. Huh. Yep. Very cool. Jeez. Oh my. Heavy snow. No movement. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so apparently I was rolling for weather every week too.
A Chimera test brandcast. Losses 1 Chimera versus 1 resident wizard. That's, yeah. You talk about Mortellin here.
Yeah, he was my friend Brian's elven wizard, and he would later go on to wage some other wars.
Cool. D&D alternate vision rules.
Hey, now this is an idea I have that I strongly believe in. I think in 5e there's too many playable races with dark vision.
Okay.
To the point where, you know, if you don't have dark vision, then you just get a magic item that gives you dark vision, and then everyone's happy. And I think that different, unless you are a underdark, dweller, you shouldn't have dark vision. You should have some other kind of vision.
So why did they go away from infravision or ultravision?
Maybe it's just too complicated.
It's too technical, too physical based. It's not simple, and it's okay if you've been in the military or you understand physics and you've seen sites like that. But it's most DMs don't understand how it works, and that's why I think it's much easier to have something that most DMs and players can intuitively understand rather than being based in physics and stuff.
Yeah, I don't think dark vision works the same way. What are you going to do? I mean, it's just the way. It's
so my favorite idea, what got it all started off was I was thinking to myself, well, elves should have telescopic vision. You know, like Legolas picking off in the movies, picking off a guy from a mile away.
Yep.
Yeah. And then that got me thinking about how the other playable races should have their own, unique brands of vision.
Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah.
Because it's boring if everyone has dark vision. Then
Dragonborn don't have it.
Well, I'm just saying if they don't have it, then they get an item to have it.
Okay.
And then once everyone has dark vision, no one has dark vision.
Okay.
Because then it's not an issue anymore.
Whew. Interesting discussion.
Yep.
Face of the Phalanx. And I think this is Joe Block's 5e adaptation you're talking about, where he did them all in that great 5e publication, and we had them on for a show. I think it was Gavin, or it was Legend Lord Gavin to discuss, which was good. And I think that those 5e books have kind of been forgotten, which is a shame, because they're really fantastic. Really, really fantastic.
He really was poised to jump on the DM's Guild with that stuff. And I guess he reluctantly then started putting out his 5e material.
Yeah,
that's a shame. So
then comes a gem, hand-drawn Earth polar map.
Yeah.
Now we're talking. This is an awesome one. So I'm thinking one thing I need to ask you when it comes to the North Pole, because this seems to be, or is this the South Pole? No, wait, hang on a second.
No, it's the North
It's the North
Pole.
Pole. Yeah.
It's North
So
Pole.
is there, if you take the Dramage Ocean West, is there a connection, or is it blocked by a land bridge? Because the infamous Best of Dragon whatever map that was, now we know, was made over a weekend by someone who had drinking too much or something, smoking weed or whatever. has that one is kind of shows it at just going north, so to speak, and there is a land bridge to the polar region, so to speak. So it makes the Dramide Ocean just a big bay, and so to speak, or it's not connected to the sole north. There's no northern passage.
My map, if you just take a glance at that North Pole, that was my version of Orth before that Dragon Annual map came out.
Okay,
Because if you look to the west of the planets,
you have very different.
So I just kind of created some other,
so to speak,
land masses on the other side of the continent, and then I had a black ice camp.
Very interesting.
You can see that arrow.
You have black ice the whole of the pole. That is a very interesting.
So if you see F, letter F is the land of black ice, and then you go straight from north, and then you're in the black ice cap.
So the black ice is just a continuum of the black ice of the north. That's a very interesting.
So when in my campaign it melts, it's just receding.
Yep.
And it leaves.
And that's the other thing we haven't talked about that much. Do you see the black ice as being truly black, or is it just sooted by volcanoes or something? Meaning if you cut through it, is it white inside or blue white regular ice inside, or is it black through and through?
It would be fun if it was dark, opaque. Yeah.
Then we have to figure out what it's made by, so to speak. Yeah.
Very cool.
I haven't dug into it, so
Custom Greyhawk dice bag. See, Brandy gave it to you.
Yes, and she bought one of those cricket things. I don't know if you guys have heard of that. For cutting out vinyl stuff, and she made that dice bag for me and put Greyhawk Grognard on it, and I just started laughing because that's Joe Block's blog. But she didn't know that. But yep.
Very, very cool. One second here. All righty. So, questions from Mike here, celebrating his 1,000th blog.
Oil leak from the City of the Gods. That's a good one, Asher.
A good reason beyond. But the City of the Gods is too far south, isn't it?
It's south of the.
Because there's. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's a good question. It's a real good question. So.
Oh, man.
Yes, Death McDoom, welcome to the family here. We are. I am almost 3 years streaming here, and I got Anna Meyer and Mike Bridges. We're celebrating Mike's 1,000th blog on Greyhawkery.
Just catch up on things. Read 1,000 blog posts.
Yep, and a lot of other things going on, and a lot of great.
Sorry,
content.
Patrick. Patrick asked if I plan on doing anything for Greyhawk in October.
Steal them, man. That's why we're here.
It's a long ways away.
Don't say that, because it's only a few months, and then
What's a long ways away?
Greyhawk October, but
Greyhawk Con. All right, so Greyhawk Con's not that. We're gonna start planning for it in June. And it's April's right around the corner, and we're gonna start. So it's coming. And now that Gary Con is over from last week, and I'm not doing 10 streams. Let me tell you, I don't need to, because first of all, we're only doing 3 days: Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Don't need to do Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. 3 days I think will be enough. We'll get a whole crew. Maybe we'll start Thursday night. Maybe we'll start on a Thursday night.
At a physical con, I always use Thursday as the meet and greet day and all that. I've never gamed on Thursday.
All right, so more questions from Mike before I do. Let's see, we got some time here. We can do another. Another date. We're in good shape. We're in really good shape.
Does Mike play 5e? I do play 5e, Doc. I run and play it currently. See, I've always changed with the editions, except for 4th edition. I instead did Pathfinder. But yeah.
Truly, Phantom. Truly, Rob. I know what you mean, man. So, isn't it 1,000 blogs is a huge achievement? So, all right, let's do.
Huge.
What have we not done? What month? What year? I don't think we have done.
Is there anything in the slideshow that would be more
Okay.
interesting?
Let me. I
I
don't
don't know.
want to remove this. So let me just put this behind. Hopefully that'll work. Keep going. Keep going. Why didn't it go? Crud. Give me 1 sec. Because if you go too fast, it scrambles them, which I never understood why. In the way this thing works here.
Big Mac asks, what bit of Greyhawk lore do you think is most underrated? Good lord, that's a good one. Most underrated.
So, Greyhawk lore is most that's a great question.
Wow.
That is a great question.
Highly subjective.
It is highly subjective.
Underrated.
Greyhawk lore.
Greyhawk lore.
For me, it's fairly easy to
Good,
answer.
Anna.
If you take in general terms, I would say the Great Kingdom.
Yeah, I was going to say that
It's
too
very,
because
very
of the
underrated.
Undying. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very underrated.
Yeah, we didn't get the published version.
Yeah, because it's the key element of the setting that influenced the culture, the political life, the religious life, the history, and so on and so forth. And there's only one big module or source book set in there, and that's even the Undying, and was not even officially published. It was squeezed out on the internet in secret, basically.
Well,
so that's my kind of feel for it. But
that's a good one. I would argue that the Greyhawk Wars gave us a taste of how vile and bad the Great Kingdom could be.
Oh yeah, yep.
So I'll have to go with the Backloonish West.
There
it's
you have
underrated.
It. Yep.
There we have lore, but not enough lore in published.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
That is common knowledge.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
another good one.
Only know bits and pieces.
Yeah.
And what
very good one. All right, now I can finally get this behind it. There we go.
Hey.
There we go.
1,000 posts.
There's a lot of cool things that Mike listed, and they're going to be scrolling through. Yeah, hey, you know, he's got a bunch of teeth starting to come out.
Have I done a blog entry on that yet? What underrated Greyhawk lore? Probably. I don't know.
Otherwise, you write one.
So I'm going to tell you one that I don't know where it is, and if Mike can link it and know where it is.
Okay.
You describe the magic items from the Wars box set that a lot of people haven't seen.
All right.
Where? Have any idea? 2018? 2019? Mike's going to look for that one. If you like, I would be searching forever for it. If he can find it, I'm going to go to it and show you some stuff.
Let's see.
Because what he does is he details, there's items in there, they're like cards, right? For enhancements for troops and stuff that can be turned into magic items in your campaign. I think it's very useful, but I just don't remember where it is. Because I spent all my time searching for something that Mike tells me it's a figment of my imagination.
Huh.
And I believe him now. I couldn't find it. I looked and looked and looked for that stupid Robert Wardall video link, and I couldn't find it on his blog anywhere. So I don't know what I was smoking.
Okay, so here's one.
Okay, what year?
2019, January 2019.
All right, cool. 2019, January. Let's see what we got here. By the way, all right, so I got 3 redeemed here. Ket, 1 sec here. Multitasking. Ket _ on wall. Of course. Please note. Thank you for the Death McDoom. We got a giveaway, $25 gift certificate to Troller Games tonight, one of our sponsors. So please sign up for it. All you got to do ! Drawing to get into it. All right, and we'll be giving away. You just got to be on at the end. So here it is. I love this, but we're never found any other supplement before or after. Today we look at the last 3 of them as I convert them to 5e rules using the spirit of the board game descriptions. So there must be some in the year before, right? In 2018 in February, and or maybe they're on here in January as well. But look, Gloves of the Paladin, Dora's Deadly Poison, and Drawmage's Dagger. All items you can use in your game, whatever edition you're doing in, you can figure out how to put them in. So
I can't remember who did Greyhawk Wars,
right?
But who is Dura, and why was Dura given magic items? I think that's an opportunity for someone to write an article.
Dora, also known as the Siren of Stiletto Street, was once an assassin from the city of Greyhawk before she was forced into exile. I had never heard of her.
Me neither.
For using talents and a close friend of the Lord Mayor. News to me. So here comes some more. Bowl of Storms. Brary's Bullseye Bow. Bigby's. Guess what? I'm gonna tell you this. So I'll link that up. Next Saturday's All-Star game, I will give out one of these items as a magic item for the party somewhere. Ooh. Yes, Anna, that is you and a couple other people, including Amy, Stella, Time Lord's wife. An opportunity. So, I mean, this is cool. Rary's Bullseye Blow sounds awesome. Bigby's Bottle of Breath. Is that it? Was it 2? I thought it may have been a third one. No, maybe that was it.
No, there wasn't that many of them.
Yeah, but still, I mean, you got 6 really cool items there that I guarantee you no one has used. Maybe Mike's used them, but there you go. Yeah. So, something to consider for that. Yeah, it does. Amy does it.
Salami breath. Yep.
Yeah. Now your illusionist wouldn't want a bow, but so Bowl of Storms.
Thanks. Zeb Cook was the designer. So I'm going to guess that Dura was someone from Zeb Cook's campaign.
And probably was the Stiletto too. Dura. Oh yeah, that's her. Sorry. Well, you know what? We have a chance to ask him soon. He's on the short list. Okay. So.
Ooh, Cannibal asks, what's an area in Greyhawk that I would like to expand the lore but haven't yet? Well, I've done a lot in the Barbarian Northeast, but I just haven't put it out there. I think that would be fun. But I think a better challenge would be trying to do my version of the Scarlet Brotherhood and develop that plateau and the organization and do a spy network or something like that. Really kind of tweak it a little better. I really like that thing, the book that Sean Reynolds did, but it's like 2/3 of it is mostly about jungle lore. And the Scarlet Brotherhood parts, while okay, I think would be much cooler if you got away from all that Greyhawk Wars business.
Did you ever get that approved from Rich Longitalis? That's funny. Any halfling? Oh, stop! Any halfling magic user blog posts?
Wow.
Hey, I didn't have to wear a shirt last night like John did with a dragon on it. I mean, with a dinosaur on it. So just note that.
Halfling magic user blog posts. I think yes. Yeah.
Okay, Mike's gonna find it. We're gonna go to it. Yes, he does. Mike's going to still be doing other stuff. Yes, he's going to be doing post fests and yeah, absolutely.
Let's see. Just take me a second because I know it's
take your time, man.
It's one of my very best of Greyhawkery in the A to Z spells.
Oh yeah, and we talked about them in the Legends and Lore. So we're going to 2020, obviously, right?
2020.
All right, 2020.
December 2020, I think.
So it wasn't that long ago.
I can't remember if it was
Mysterious
the
Places
first or the second.
Okay, here it is. All right, so what are we looking for?
It might be the January 2021. So we're looking for a spell. There's a spell in there about halfling
Wizard?
It was from a dragon magazine. It was about halfling magic, and it was magic spells that would basically change you into dinosaurs, give you dinosaur claws, dinosaur teeth, or something like that. It was really, really weird. So the blog post wasn't specifically by halflings. It just had
Sounds like a spell for both Jay and
Had
John's
spells.
campaigns.
Yeah,
Only once.
Yeah. So I'm going to count that as a yes, just so I can rub it in
You could take off that
Method
one.
space.
All right, so I'm going to go to 2021 and look right there in January and see. Was it in January? You think?
In January, I had the
Garrick
A to
Ingdahl.
Z lists, my second A to Z list.
That's okay.
Yeah.
So here it is. Maybe it's here. Corpse Candle.
Just can't remember which. Hungry Gizzard.
There it is. Druid.
It's Druid, not Wizard. Damn it.
But halflings can be druids.
So there you go.
Oh, thank
Hungry
God.
Gizzard.
Yes, I know the busting there. And cool, Death. That's good. Join those discords up. It's awesome. Hungry Gizzard. I mean, there's a lot of great spells here. So you got so you also got January 19th.
Greyhawk has so many name spells or Greyhawk specific spells mostly in the pages of Dragon.
Yep.
That it's, if you could put all them into a book, it would be pretty thick. But
So, what other questions you have for Mike as we're getting
we're
close?
winding down.
Getting close to so we are going to tonight raid into Carlos. Okay, so Carlos got a game going on.
Awesome.
We'll raid into Carlos after we do announcements and stuff. And if you came late, I did do thank yous to everyone associated with Gary Con. So please note my sincerest appreciation to making it such a success. So any other questions for Mike here?
Pig-faced orcs or no?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I do like the classic pig-faced orcs. I am also a Warhammer player. I play orcs in Warhammer 40K.
They are pig-faced too.
They're kind of got that snout as well in a way. So yeah.
It says it's okay.
Well, I don't prefer pig-faced orcs, but if others do it, that's okay. Yeah. Meaning it's different. I don't do pig-faced orcs really in my campaign.
Orcs, I mean, it just depends on your edition you play too. A lot of it.
Oh yeah.
Yes, in my Castle Greyhawk comic with Scott Casper, Quiz is in there, and he's pig-faced. And it's hard to draw, actually.
Is he half orc or full orc?
Full orc.
He's full orc. Yeah, he's full orc. Yeah. Very cool.
I have never played BattleTech, Patrick. Yeah, I used to have some BattleTech models back in the day, but
Patrick is pushing me to do a stream. Hey, I got a mat. I got one of my dual-sided mats, which has the city encounters for BattleTech for city combat. So there you go. So just note that it may be coming down the road. Just the right place, right time. We got to keep on riding this D&D wave after Gary Con. What a huge success it was. Didn't even go over any of the numbers, but I'll do that during my shout-outs. All right, so any other last questions for Mike here as we're approaching that 10-minute up 10 time, and we're going to do some shout-outs. Isn't that Qualish artifact just BattleTech? No.
Or the Servant of Luco. Yeah. Touche. Mike is moving on to work on the Hitlord. No, Gary. Good Lord.
Gary had such the most unbelievable dry sense of humor on Saturday night during the joust. By the way, it's on YouTube. I got it from Jimmy Duffy. It's on YouTube. It's up. Also up on YouTube, and so if you don't want to, you can't watch it on Twitch. You can go to Greyhawk. You don't want to go to Greyhawk, Gary Con Greyhawk to watch that, but you can watch Gary Con on Twitch. You can watch the Ask the Experts, but they're both up on YouTube. The Joust and the Ask the Experts as well. So as a
Pat wants to know what's the most overused lore in Greyhawk.
Most overused lore. Oh.
I agree with Gary there that Ayu's and his family. For a while there, like everything had to be tied to
Are we
Ayu's.
talking WotC or are we talking with us? Because if we're talking WotC, it's Mordenkainen by far.
Mordenkainen?
Eggwolf.
Yeah.
Eggwolf. Too much.
Well, Eggwolf is part of the Ayu's family.
Right. But I'm saying
Family
Mordenkainen's
tree.
everywhere, and he shouldn't be. I mean, it's just too much. So.
Yeah.
But if you're talking about us with lore, I think Vecna's too much. I like it, but they took it from a. This is like you take a movie, it's good, you make it into a TV show, then you make it into 14 different TV show variants, like Highlander. And you have the Raven and all the other stuff, and then you have Highlander movies come out, and they're one's worse after the other, and Vecna is kind of like that, right? It's just started as Vecna's
Vecna die harder. Die with a vengeance. Yeah.
So Amy agrees with me on that. Yeah. So thanks.
I don't know.
And there's a couple other ones too, but so. Any other questions? And we're gonna do some shout outs at this point. So the Vecna who loved me. Yeah, Gary, you're absolutely correct there. But
Vecna Rigger.
You don't need to.
So if Wizards doesn't do Greyhawk, how'd they do?
It's not Greyhawk. He's been neutered. Tasha is Eggwolf. Mordenkainen, right. They've neutered him. Saltmarsh was neutered.
They're trademarks.
That's it. They've neutered them and just put them in generic settings.
They're not using. I mean, they could, just as easily put Tenzer or Big B or whatever, but they don't. Mordenkainen has the name recognition.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, so you know my thought on it, and probably Carlos's as well. I want them to leave Greyhawk alone. If they open up the DM's Guild, that's great. Yeah, I don't want lore.
We're all having fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Those sodium marsh.
Oh, come on, Gary. You're on a roll. So, yeah, absolutely.
I liked Tasha's.
You like Tasha's?
Yeah, this is one of the most beautiful books I own.
Beautiful. Okay, that's cool.
I mean, I haven't used any of the content yet, but I don't know.
Pat at 66 asked a question I kind of asked on Sunday night. If you could change one thing at Greyhawk, what would it be? I know what it is.
What Greyhawk adventure would you like? Wait, change one thing? Oh, well, I would like to change Greyhawk Wars, probably. Maybe, keep the Scarlet Brotherhood out of it. I don't know.
Bing, 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 bing.
Yeah.
You and me, not in my Sea Prince, not on my west side of the map. Stay away.
Sequel.
I
would like to see the sequel to Howl from the North, which should have been Greyhawk Wars. I think the barbarians should have been united for reals. I know, Vatun, and then they should have went on a conquering spree, and then your barbarian lands would have spread out. And I think that would have been interesting.
So, how about you, Anna? Do you have a sequel module?
Yeah.
I was going to end it with a joke, but I don't know if I should.
The thing I would change, I would love to do what Gary Julian did when he made the article if the Death Knight would have won. That's what I would like to see.
Cool.
Yes. I would love to see the Death Knight taking over in Rossi's afterwards. That would be a cool enemy. And I'm going to make a variant. I'm not going to go with Gary's story as he wrote it, but I'm going to make a campaign to see if something similar might happen in my campaign world in a future campaign. And I'm so hooked on that one that I want to start it right away, but no, that will be in some years to come. I want to do a campaign up against the Death Knights, and it's going to be with some interesting twists. Yeah.
Very cool.
Oh, and I also forgot we need the Bandit Kingdoms 2.
Oh, we need the Bandit Kingdoms 2, definitely. Yep.
So Naz, there will be another. Hopefully, there'll be a JS2, but not a Hools. But it'll be. So, if I had one, a sequel I could see, it would be Return to the Temple of Elemental Evil.
Ooh.
I'm sorry, they already did that.
Yeah,
they messed it up. How about Eric on Sunday? I play tested that. I was a joke. That was a joke. All right, so we got a special announcement coming on. Casey. I know, Armin.
I have been summoned.
There you
Wow.
go.
Oh, hi, Casey.
Hello, and congratulations to Mike.
Cool.
Thanks, Casey.
Just the fact that you even put me, reference me on your 1000th blog post was,
Yeah.
very awesome. Thank you. I'm very honored.
Yeah. Pretty high up there, too.
Congrats.
Not that they were in any specific order.
But that was awesome.
So,
Well done.
Casey has not gotten a chance to go over what happened during his tournament
Ooh, hey.
for GaryCon, so I figured let's do that in the end here.
All right.
So, go for it.
So first of all, let me just say that I hope people had fun at GaryCon because I had a little bit of a shit show going on with players
Ooh.
dropping for the tournament at the last minute. Friday didn't even happen. And, I think we've all learned a lesson, those of us who did GaryCon. Friday at 7 o'clock Eastern or whatever it was, is 6 o'clock Central, 5 o'clock Mountain, 4 o'clock Pacific, right?
Yeah.
So it was a bad time for me to try and set the tournament for Friday night. So that lesson learned. And then we had people drop like Saturday. Someone had a car issue and couldn't make it.
Oh,
And I had a buddy step up. And then Sunday, I had 2 people drop.
oh my gosh.
Like someone, I guess there was a big windstorm somewhere in the Mid-East. Or not
Yeah,
Mid-East,
yeah, it was bad. It was bad.
Midwest.
No, it was
And-
bad. It came through an hour before I streamed that night
Wow.
with the finale. Yeah.
Right. So it took this guy's power out. So he dropped from the game and someone else dropped. But luckily, I got a different friend and my wife to
No.
jump in and play. My wife has never played Pathfinder. Never
Jeez.
played Pathfinder, hates horror mods.
Damn.
So she was absolutely thought it was going to be the worst experience of her life. So,
Yeah.
with all that being said, let me get to the results.
Yep.
So the Saturday table, which consisted of, let me get their names up here. Howard Black, Matthew Linzen, who I don't know Matthew's Discord, but Howard is Howman was that day. Dane Ellenberg, Crimson Death, who I think is in the audience tonight.
Yeah.
Jim Woollett, Segula?
Segila, Jim
Jim
Segila. Yeah, Jim's on. Jim's on.
Good guy. He actually had played in the fall version of the tournament and liked the character Garavina so much, he wanted to play her again. And I was like, all right, as long as you don't cheat.
Yeah.
Good. It's cool.
And
Good to
tell
hear, Jim.
everyone. And then the last guy was my buddy Jay from my home campaign. So the table 2 from Saturday, they ended up with a final score of 1,340 points. Now, if you'll remember from last fall, the lowest score was like 1,800
Uh-oh.
Oh
something
no.
points. A 1925 was the lowest score last fall. So they had a PC die in the first fight. The halfling rogue got just ripped apart by the animated chains. I'm not spoiling anything.
That first encounter was
Mike.
rough.
You lived through it.
Yeah, but I really thought we were all gonna die in the first encounter.
So, and then they also each character had a thing they weren't supposed to do,
Right.
or it would cost them points. 2 of their characters did the thing they weren't supposed to do, and then they really didn't get very far anyway. So
Okay.
the Saturday table comes in second place out of 2,
Okay. Hey, it's
and
okay.
then that means the winners are our Sunday table of Michael Mossbarger, who is
Von
on-
Moku, who won the
Von
joust as
Moku.
who
well.
won the
What the
joust
hell?
the night before.
Oh man,
and then
this guy's a pro.
Cesar Mendoza, who I don't have his online handle name, but he did a great job playing the Halfling
Cesar.
Rogue.
Is that?
Does that ring a
2000?
bell for anyone? Cesar
Cesar?
Mendoza?
Is that 2000?
I
Isn't
think
that
so.
a-
No, that's
Might be.
2000 Caesar. Is that who it is?
Caesar.
2000 Caesar, is that you?
Cesar?
I don't know. Ranger Harley, a gentleman named Tim.
Yeah, Ranger Harley's been on a lot. He's on Blue
Yep.
Box in here. Yep.
He played the barbarian, the half-orc barbarian. A buddy of mine from Living Greyhawk, who I posted on Facebook saying, like, guys, I need someone to step up and complain this. Someone I haven't played D&D with since Living Greyhawk ended in like 2008. Stepped up. He hasn't played like 3.0 and
It's not. Okay. It's not.
Pathfinder in
Okay.
forever.
Didn't think so.
So, and then my wife, jumped in, and they won with a grand total of 2,370 points. To put that in comparison, the winning group from the fall had 2,025 points.
So they got to the final encounter.
No, they
No?
did not. But the caveat is, who knows if I scored the exact same way last fall? Like if I was as harsh on the scoring and whatnot.
Yeah.
It's a little bit subjective. Neither group got very far. The Saturday group, which cheated sort of, got further, and they got TPK'd, but after the bell had rung. After the tournament was over, they fought the boss fight. They got completely TPK'd. It was hilarious. My wife's table was nowhere near the finale when the timer rang, and we didn't have time to, do another hour to keep going. So they're actually going to try and get together in the future and finish the adventure. Yeah.
Cool.
So I then made both groups vote for their table MVP, right? I did this back in the fall, and at Mike's table, it was Jonathan Dawes, I believe.
Yeah, and Dickerus.
Yeah. Right. So for the Saturday table, the MVP was my buddy Jay, who had stepped in to fill the void, who played the barbarian, and he just did a really good job, and the other players appreciated how he did. So to my buddy Jay, good job. And then the MVP of the Sunday table, and I swear this is not nepotism, 4 players voted for my wife. My wife voted for someone else. So my wife is going to get a signed copy of my book.
That is a funny.
Awesome. Yep.
That is
Are you going to personalize it?
Yes. Yeah, she's standing in the doorway looking at me, just thinking I'm the biggest dummy right now.
I'll treasure it always.
Good to hear.
But everyone else will, from that winning table, will get PDF copies of the book, and I hope everyone had a good time. And both tables were great fun, and it was interesting to see what they did compared to the fall groups. It was basically identical, Mike. Everyone made the same dumb mistakes.
Right.
But anyway, I'm looking forward to working on the next version for virtual Greyhawk Con 2021. It'll be a different adventure, but one thing I have pitched to Jay is, let's put together one last running of this where maybe Jay would be kind enough to produce it while I DM it, because I don't know anything about streaming. I guess I can try and learn, but I don't know. Or if someone else out there can
help. Everybody can see the shit show.
Yeah, exactly.
We can do that. It's not hard to do. So I'm feeling charitable, and we did have a hype train. So we'll have 2 drawings. I have a couple left from the fundraiser over. So we're going to give away tonight a signed we're going to sign Bandit Kingdom book tonight to a winner. Please, Continental U.S. And if you're not, we'll figure something out. But we'll and then $25 troll alerts we'll do 2. Okay. So there you go. Now Gary. So he wants that. So we'll do 2 drawings tonight there. So cool, Casey. Good to hear. Yeah, we can figure something out. So there's a lot going on, and I probably will have a long discussion here. So let's do some shout outs here. Anna, what's going on?
There's a lot of things going on. I'm sorry about the onslaught of posts haven't started yet, because I had a few things for my commission for Gryffindor Games that I needed to attend to just after GaryCon, because I let everything fall. But it's coming. The next installment in Mapping Greyhawk again that talks about masks, very technical and boring, but very important. If you want to get into maps, you need to understand how that works. So that's coming. And then comes the big post in the thing, something I'll be very proud of, a deep dive into texturing. And I will blow your socks off. It's looking cool. The maps you saw on that I showed on my seminar, those were hastily done in a day or two, a few hours just to get it look good. Wait until you see this. It's going to look awesome. Yeah, it's going to look absolutely awesome. I have now tested a couple of 100 square miles, and it's almost almost ready, finalized, so to speak. And
blades of grass, leaves on tree.
Yeah, basically, yeah. You can see boulders and all sorts of stuff. It's looking absolutely gorgeous. Yep. So it's looking really, really, really cool. So there will be probably more than one article, because there's so many facets to that part. that we need to go into, and there will be a bunch of cool screenshots and presentation of it. So, and my players in my campaign will now have a sandbox that looks damn right awesome, so to speak. So we now have a battle map that is 225 square miles to play on. So now I can start chasing them around the neighborhood and the countryside.
Awesome.
So now we will abandon the village and I'll chase them around. So we will, that can be some interesting stuff on that. So that is coming. And then there is laying the foundations for Lendor Isles. I have a blog post and some stuff about that. And primarily it's where the different settlements supposed to be. So I've taken a look at Lend's maps and stuff. So we kind of, and there is a couple of towns and cities that I didn't, or towns that I weren't aware of before. So I'm going to put them together in a map and then post it on my blogs and in Flanders Geographical Society, and we'll see what kind of comments and stuff we can get on it, so we can kind of have an idea, so we can have something to work, so I can have something to work from, so to speak. So that's in the immediate future, and so I'll stay there tonight. But there is, from just working on basic technical stuff for better part of a year, now it's starting time to deliver cool stuff, so to speak. So it's yeah, so things are coming, and I'm blown away by how cool it looks. So yeah.
Awesome.
Yep.
Casey, what's going on, man? Anything you want to shout out?
Unpacking. We bought this house at the end of January. It's still a wreck here.
Well, hey, man.
But
Let's move in. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm still working on my Seaton article that I want to send to Christoph at the Orworth Journal. That
Yeah.
mentioned Lord Obney earlier. I had Lord Obney murdering fools in Seaton as part of my Ghosts of Saltmarsh campaign, which is a monthly game I run here out of my Boston home or Massachusetts area. Other than that, we're finishing up the first sequel to Dragon at Icespire Peak. It was written by Sean Merwin, who was the Keeland, I think it was, Triad guy we had last year. Hope everyone enjoyed the Women of Living Greyhawk show we had a couple Wednesdays ago.
That was an awesome show.
Yeah, that was really a great show. And Jay and I will be working on the next Living Greyhawk show for April here in the near future. I gotta start reaching out to people. I want to start doing like big shows with the circle members and see if we can't get Eric Mona to actually come on.
We have Natessine from Finland contacted me, so we may want to
really.
reach out. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Good.
Yeah.
The Europeans are tricky because of the time difference.
We'll make it work.
Yeah.
Make it work.
Absolutely. So other than that, just continuing to.
Oh, by the way, I finally did experience for the Living Greyhawk group. So you didn't go up. But Anna did.
Mm,
Oh,
I didn't even ask.
Well, you're
I
6'8".
froze.
You're 6'8". That's
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. Mhm.
Yes,
Yeah.
you went up. Paulie Juicy Fruit went up, and Illusionist, the Bard went up, and Schwan went up to 7th level. Priestess of May.
Send me the new XP totals.
Well,
so I, can
I will, man. I promise.
Now
I will.
everybody wants
I mean,
to be
it's not like you've been
7-8.
doing
Yeah.
anything. Jay.
No, I haven't. I just had 10 streams over the weekend.
Yeah.
And
By
got
the way,
4
great
hours.
job.
Thank you.
You know, I think I caught up with you guys Thursday night after the first night of the con.
Yeah, you did. You did. You
after
hopped
show.
in. You hopped in the after show.
And then,
that I hadn't even really gotten moving until
caught
I
your
hadn't
first
DM'd an
session of
event
the
until that
Horde
Friday
Wars.
morning.
A lot
Yeah.
of fun.
So you finished before us this time. Yeah. Why don't you
absolutely. So
great?
shout
Why
out
don't you
to-
rate in, man? You could have rated in, dude. It's all right. No big deal. It's all
Hey,
good.
great.
All right, I appreciate you hopping in. Great. That's good.
Yep.
So lots of streams on. Yeah, lots of streams going on. So Mike, tell everyone now what you're gonna do again. So
well, real quick, I'm going to post a link here. This is
Oh,
998.
no worries.
Post a bunch of cultist comics to keep you guys happy.
Hmm.
So what am I doing
Yeah.
now?
What are you gonna do now?
I am going to do a lot of nothing.
Yeah.
That's what you do on a vacation, right?
Yeah.
I'm just going to hang out in the chat like all the rest of yous and comment on stuff.
He'll still be on
And-
Legends of Lore every Wednesday night.
I
Yeah,
hope so.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got that.
We can't take vacation from
And,
everything.
and I'm
Yeah.
working on a post for Gary, an Underdark post.
Well, poke Gary to start Spine Castle back up.
There you go.
Yeah, he went out grape. He went over the entire tournament.
Yeah, Grape missed it. Grape had a
I'm gonna be
vested.
gaming more. I'm in a game with Rich and Gary.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
So, all right. I said thanks to everyone. I'll say thanks again. Gary Con was awesome. And, there's things I would do differently. It wasn't my con, but we will do them differently during Greyhawk Con. Trust me. Okay. And everyone's going to stream on their own channels the way it should be. And we're not going to have any of these other problems. And it'll be a great con. And I hope my goal is 100 events for that in October. We had 60 some. I think we can get there. We'll see. We got a lot more people that'll be involved. What's going on with me tomorrow night? This is a proper name. This is not a drug, everyone. Okay? All right? Tomorrow night, Adventure 906, Meth and the Sealed Fates. I know it's a stupid name, but I do that sometimes.
Great name for a band.
Yeah, is it? All right. So, Meth is this.
Yeah.
It is. All right. The Sealed Fates are a bunch of dwarven bounty hunters and bandits that claim to rob from the rich and murder the rich and give to the poor. But we all know it's probably a front, and Meth is the leader, and they're always up to no good. They target Altamira because they are working for the Prince of Ulick. All right, so there you go. And so we will see what happens in this. But Robin Hood of the Dwarves is here to save everyone in the adventure. This is post-Altamira Joust. I guarantee you'll see a lot of characters in bars at the start of this. This is right after the Joust has ended from Saturday night. So there'll be characters that you've seen in the Joust in the bars, which will be a pretty entertaining discussion. All right? Looking forward to this. This will be a 2-week adventure. Infinite Dimensions STL prints giveaway, very nice ones. The Rookery and the which will be on our table, and the stables that Bill printed will be on our table. That'll be the giveaways for our sponsor tomorrow night. I did this not in as much detail and explanation almost 100 Gabins ago. I think it was Gabin 42. And this should say, well, Tim hasn't confirmed yet, but so we're going to spice up your fighter class. Hey, you can apply this to any edition, but I'm going to talk old school 1E2E, which I do. I'm going to give you the evolution of what happened in our campaign and why we got to where we are now and why fighters aren't boring anymore in our game. So there you go. Splitting up the fighter class on Sunday night. That'll be a good discussion. Also, next Saturday is our next Saturday night special. And do I have that in here? I don't know. Here, let me go to this. Let me go here. Okay. So next Saturday, I will shout this out. I probably just did already because I can't remember what I did 5 minutes ago. Here are the special guests. We have Kayla, Time Lord's wife. We have Mike Disney. We have Stella Luna. We have Anna. We have Amy Crittenden. We have Chuck Cumbo, Mike Disney, Bill the Master Crafter. What a great group for investigations into the SUS. So here's a little quick synopsis. If you remember a couple of ventures ago, Dangers Within the SUS, where they went in and they almost released some ancient soul power. Well, they didn't clean up things well enough, and there's all sorts of badness going on in that area now, and we're going to send in some better characters to deal with it. Hence, Anna, Emery, and your group will go in a one-shot into that area near where that ruins of Atraca rumored to be, that really swampy bad area. Oh, yeah.
Damn.
And go in and take care of it. Now, here's the funny thing. Tomorrow night, Emery and Tegan, which is Kayla's character, and Sierra, which is Stella's character, will make a special guest appearance NPC'd by me on tomorrow night's show. You may see, like I said, post-Joust. You're going to see a whole bunch of characters that were hanging out in the stand Saturday night. Oh, yes, in the bar. So that'll be fun. So note this. We're in talks with a lot of massive names for Gabin discussions for the most part. Yes. We have... and I won't go into the names, but they're huge names. Now, we've already had Angry One on the show. We've had Eric Moan on the show. Some of these names are up there, that level. Just got to get it all confirmed and worked out in dates and stuff. So we got a lot of great stuff coming up. whether it's a week from, whether it's the Sunday after Easter, the 11th. You know, it is a Sunday Easter night. I understand if it's going to be a low crowd on Sunday night. Hey, it's a holiday. I understand that. But we're going to have some great stuff coming up with a lot of guests. It's just getting it all addressed and taken care of. I know I missed something. Tease you. MM. There you go. There's a tease. Not happened yet officially. So there you go. You'll have to figure that out. What am I having? I'm having a prime rib roast that my wife's cooking for Easter that I already bought. Yes, so yeah, Tim, you're real close. Tim wouldn't know. What do they eat in Jersey for Easter? We eat meat because I'm a barbarian. I'll eat meat. So prime rib, yeah. Yes. No. Yeah, it's not. This person did stuff for Necromancer Games back in the day and now works for WotC now. There you go. So that may be one of them. So there you go. So any other
Easter egg hunt at Tim's house?
Nope.
For some reason.
No, you don't want to do that. Yeah, so it'll be
Are
deadly
there
traps.
tripwires involved?
Yeah,
Those
yeah.
weapons, man.
Yes. So
Put
let's
that egg down. That's my Tim impression.
let's do the giveaways tonight. Now that I added the Casey book one in, and I'll get that out. Barbecue. Well, barbecue's good too. Yep. You got it there, Doc. Yep, it's very possible. We just gotta work out some details. Working on it. So, said he's a fan of the show and watches it. So that means he probably watches on YouTube after the fact. Yep. All right. So let's do this. Let's do the giveaway here. Let me go to the right bot here. Last call. Last call for signups. All right. First winner you can choose $25 gift certificate, Troller Games, or the Casey signed Bandit Kingdoms book. All right. Giveaways. And that's not all. We got other names. There's a lot of other names. I just threw that one out as one of them. Lots of other names that are going to be coming on the show. One has a nickname that begins with a Z. So there you go. Working on that too. Closing out the entries. The first winner. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, Megan, I appreciate that. The new viewer and the new subscriber, Death McDoom, won. That is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at that. First time on and you won.
Boom.
Fantastic.
So,
Yep.
it doesn't matter, Death. $25 gift certificate to Troller Games. I'm going to send you that. If you're in Discord, if you just sign up for Campfire Discord, 20 minutes after the show's over, I'm giving you the code. You're good. No problem.
Chuck Combo's
He
birthday
made a
today,
currency
too.
joke. He's my favorite Canadian.
What's that? Yeah?
And it's
Look,
Chuck's
he made it
birthday
like
today.
currency.
That is funny, man. So grats. Look at that. First time on, followed us from the Uncensored First Edition, came in, followed and subbed, and want to get something. That is so awesome. All right, this is for the Casey
Yep.
book. Dun, 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 dun. Stephen Strategy. Cool.
All right.
A regular. And
Congratulations.
let me just make sure he is on still.
When you get it, let me know what description you
He's
got.
on.
No, when you get the book.
Yep. Stefan. Yep. Stefan, I have your address, don't I? I'm almost positive I have it. I've given you. Yeah, I'm almost positive. All right. So Casey book. All right. Yeah. If I don't, I'll contact you. All right. So let's raid into Carlos. Everyone, let's give Carlos a big raid. One more time. Say congratulations to Mike on a
Yes,
wonderful,
Mike.
wonderful,
Yes. Yep.
wonderful 1,000 blogs over 10 and a half years. It's an achievement. It really is. And
We have to say
yes, Doc,
also-
you're correct there too.
Yeah.
Yep,
We have
so-
to say
I don't do-
congratulations to Chuck too. It's
Chuck's
his
Chuck's
first-
birthday. Happy birthday, Chuck
mhm.
Combo.
Happy birthday,
Yes.
Chuck.
Yep.
Yes.
He had a grandbaby
Yes, he did
Oh, that
right
too.
during the con.
during
Right
the
during the
con.
con. Yep.
Yep.
So he's been cranking it out. Now we always go to the really dangerous thing. Well, I hit the right button here. So I'll see you tomorrow night. Great game tomorrow night. It'll be fun.
Bye, everyone.
A lot of RP early on, and of
Come
course,
on.
so see you then. All right, setting up the raid.
Oh, Mike, you want to hear something dumb? I never realized that your cartoons were the same panel. What'd you call that style? Dinosaur comics?
Dinosaur comics.
I never realized that until your blog post the other day. And I was
Yeah. That guy's been doing dinosaur comics for years. And it's just the same panels, different text.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We'll see you tomorrow night. 74. It's not. No, it's good.
Yeah, so that's where I'm at. And my artistic mood is just recycling art and putting the text in.
All right, let me go to there and